Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
The office is indeed open, my friends. This is the third annual Dr. Roto PPR Staff League. I have not been a returning champion yet. There's something wrong with that, so I better be the future champion, is all I have to say. I have shaved down to the draft stash, and I'm ready, rock and roll. I'm Johnny Danger, of course, with me, Mr. Ted, the man behind the scenes, and the rankings king himself, Chris Kennedy. How are you guys?
I'm good.
There we go, Ted. Jump on in here. I need more excitement out of you as a Philly 49ers fan. Come on now.
I didn't want to take the spotlight.
Yeah, I was waiting for Chris, so clearly we work on that back and forth there.
I dig it. Well, we got about 7 minutes before this draft starts. I'm excited. This is my first seasonal draft of the year.
That's right. We're still in the preseason. We got a lot of kinks to work out.
We do have a lot of kinks to work out, including your internet connection, Chris. I don't know what's going on with him, Ted, but how are you doing?
Oh, I'm clearly doing better than Chris's internet at this point.
Yeah, something's going wrong with Chris's internet. Hopefully it messes up his picks tonight. That would be very good for me. I would enjoy that. And I will take anything that he leaves behind because his computer's not working properly. So number one overall pick this year, Ted, I mean, it's been really Jefferson, right? I mean, is there really any argument for anyone else? I mean, you can be cheeky, right? But, I mean, he's the guy in PPR. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so. I was looking the other day on the Fantasy Pros expert consensus, and Chase was there for like a day. They had flipped. Chase was up top. But, like, society has fixed itself. Jefferson is back on top as of this afternoon. And so I think you're right. It's Jefferson or bust.
Yeah.
Jefferson or you're being cheeky at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about Jefferson for me in the number one spot. I've done 52 best ball drafts and possibly 5 or 6 more before it's done. And every number one I've taken Jefferson. I look at it and I try to talk myself into Chase. I try to talk myself into CMC. You know, I'm a huge Niners fan, as are you. And I just can't do it. It's all Jefferson from me. I got somebody like vehemently disagreeing with me down in our thumbnails, and his name is Heat Override. Let's bring him in for a minute.
Danger! I know that everybody wants to take Jefferson, but man, there's no way he would outdo McCaffrey, man. McCaffrey was a beast at the end of the year last year. Like, anytime that man was in a DFS lineup, man, they should have been charging $20,000 for that boy. But hey, I guess, man, I would take McCaffrey in mine, but I'm a running back lover. So
it's true, man. I'm not gonna lie though. I have really out of all these Best Buys. Now Best Buy is a little different, right? Best Buy. I'm thinking about playing video games right now. I'm buying some, some new video games for this kids. Anyways, Best Ball is a little bit different. It's like a half super flex league, right? It's like quarterbacks don't go in the first round, but you got to have 2 or 3 of them. So, but what I've been seeing through all these best balls that I've been doing is I have a hard time finding good wide receivers deep. So I'm feeling like if there's a no running back year, it's this year. Now I'm taking CMC number 2.
Okay, yeah.
But I like Jefferson.
I mean, so like when you talk about the late receivers, we're all going to be fighting over those late receivers, but it's the same thing. Those late receivers can produce. On one of my teams that won a championship last year, I won it with Tyler Lockett, I won it with Marquise Brown, and I won it with Amari Cooper. Yeah, those were good guys. I could probably bring up that I had DeAndre Hopkins suspended the whole year on my bench just sitting there. But those 3 really worked out for me. And who didn't work out was Cam Akers, but Leonard Fournette and Nick Chubb worked out well. So that was kind of my approach because I went 3 running backs because I was picking at the end of the draft. So it's just kind of hard to even get a good receiver like that. So I just punted it, took all the running backs, and then dropped in with those 3, and it worked out well.
I hear it. Well, good luck to you today, sir.
Yeah, man, good luck to y'all too. Ooh, yeah.
All right, I'm going to pull in a newcomer here to the Dr. Roto staff. Somebody I'm excited to talk about and talk to. Let's bring in Miss Alicia Hunt. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. Now, there's not $1 million on the line today. Is it going to distract you that we're playing for pride?
No. Nope.
I like it. So you are bringing up kind of the rear here in a spot that I've kind of struggled with in my best ball drafts. Coming in at pick number, 8?
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of a no man's land. Who are you hoping is there for you? You can tell me. It's fine. I won't take him at 5.
I really like St. Brown.
St. Brown.
Yeah.
Well, Doc has told me he likes St. Brown more than CD Lamb. Now they're ranked right next to each other. I'm kind of a Lamb guy. Also, I live near Detroit, and I'm a notorious Lions hater. Am I letting that?
I'm a Lions lover, but it's all about who can get you the points here, right?
That's right. Who you points?
So,
Ted, where do you fit on the Lamb versus St. Brown?
I would have to take Lamb on that one, but I say this: last year I wrote our Lions team preview, and I was out on St. Brown, and obviously that was a terrible take. And so clearly he's proven me wrong before. He'll probably do it again, but I still am worried about the target competition for him, just a little bit. Not like very worried, but worried enough that I'd take Lamb over him for sure.
I dig it. All right, back to the 8 pick. Coming back around, are you hoping to get wide receivers? Are you going running backs? You don't have to tell me your strategy, but what have you been seeing so far this year?
I've seen a lot of wide receivers going. There's a couple. I did see you got like Kelsey. I've seen people pick Kelsey in the first pick. Some of these great running backs, McCaffrey, Eckler. I guess it's all up to you.
Yeah.
I prefer to pick wide receiver, but that's just me, I think.
For sure. I'm on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck to you at the 8 and around the turn. We're going to kick this draft off, and I'm sure I'll have you back on in a few.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. We got all kinds of staff members here hanging out with us. We'll pull them in throughout the draft. Chris Kennedy is missing in action. His internet was not working, but we'll get it there. If you're listening, if you're watching, drop your comments. We'll talk about them. Make fun of Heat, whatever you got to do. We're going to get this started. All right. We're going to kick this draft off. First, I got to do it by popping the champagne. All right. Here we go. 2023 Dr. Roto Staff PPR League. Let it commence. All right. Oh, he didn't even wait. I told you it'd be Jefferson. He didn't even wait. No hesitation. No hesitation. Brown's dog. I believe that is Justin. Is that Justin's team?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring him in here. Justin, how are you, buddy?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
No hesitation. Click the button.
Click the button. Jefferson, he's as safe a number 1 overall pick as we've had in several years. I mean, just elite as far as the position goes, and in PPR, I mean, he's just a record setter as far as his statistics and health and everything along those lines. Just an easy insta call.
All right. So Kirk Cousins, did his TV show help him this year or hurt him in PPR or in ADP?
With like the chains and all that, where he's wearing the chains, or is that?
Oh yeah.
Cousins, he's underrated.
Sorry, Ted. I know you're on the clock. It's fine.
No, that's okay.
No, I don't have a problem with Cousins. I mean, he's been a QB1 for several years, and he gets kind of a bad rap. Even Jefferson didn't really give him much credit as far as the top QBs in the NFL. But Cousins does what he needs to do, and that's get Jefferson the ball. Get him 120 targets or however many. Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely love it. All right. Well, Ted, you took Hill, which did me a favor because I'm just going to take Kelsey right off the bat here. I appreciate it, Justin. We'll have you back on around when you get to pick twice.
Sounds good.
All right. Good luck to you, buddy. I've written on Facebook a few times that I brought this up. Kelsey finished last year as wide receiver 4. He finished last year as total PPR points, non-quarterback 7. 71% of ESPN playoff champion teams and who played for the championship had Kelsey on the roster. He scored 100 more points than tight end 2. 100.
Yeah, there is an argument that Kelsey should be the first overall pick, just from a purely over replacement standpoint.
It's correct. I mean, so I got in an argument with a guy on Facebook today because he wanted to trade. It was Chase and Freiermuth for Kelsey and Pittman. Or no, he wanted to trade away Kelsey and Pittman for Chase and Freiermuth. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds great, but like Kelsey can put up Chase numbers, probably will put up Chase numbers. And the drop off to Freiermuth, I think, is way steeper than the drop off from Chase to Pittman. Yeah,
I agree. I think Kelsey and Pittman will outscore Chase and Freiermuth. Even if Kelsey doesn't put up Chase numbers, like there's only like 3 good tight ends, and like Freiermuth is not one of them. So I would not be taking that trade.
Sure. And I wish that Chris Kennedy could come back on here so I could ask him why our boy Kittle isn't ranked like number 3 on this list. I'm a little upset about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know. As a Niners fan, it hurts me to say this, but I'm worried about pretty much every Niner not named Brock Purdy or defense and special teams for this season, just from a too many mouths to feed perspective. I think they're all great, but if you look at all the target numbers once CMC showed up, they're all not what you want to see. And even CMC was incredible until Elijah Mitchell got healthy, and then he was just like incredible, but not like game-breakingly incredible. And like you need him to be game-breakingly incredible if you're taking him first, second overall.
Agreed. Okay, so the first round's done here. You guys can see it across the board. Nothing truly out of the ordinary. I still argue a little bit that Derrick Henry is out of first round for me, but it's hard to really pick anybody else to fill that spot. So I can see where that goes. Anything out of the ordinary for you so far?
Nick Chubb showed up a little higher than I'm used to seeing him. I know he loves his running backs. I know he loves Nick Chubb, so that's unsurprising. But that's definitely the only one that stands out to me, I think.
All right. Well, Cam is not here. Chris has still not figured out how to get back here. So let's go ahead and bring in Coach Al White and talk about his turn at pick 10 there. Coach White, in a year where it has been even more prevalent to get your wide receivers first, you went running back with Barkley and Bijan Robinson. Frankly, I'm a little surprised you didn't take Bijan first.
Yeah, actually, last year I started off with 2 wide receivers. I am defending champ. If anybody needed to know that,
it's true.
So that was the strategy that worked out last year for me. And I ended up getting CD Lamb on the turn. I was picked 10 last year. I think I went Devontae Adams, CD Lamb, and they were solid all season long. But I don't know, man. I haven't seen Bijan fall to second round, pick 3 in any draft I've had this season. So I felt like I was gonna go with Stephon Diggs, but I don't know, man. I just couldn't pass up 2 really, really good running backs, and Bijan's just so fun to watch. I mean, I know he's had such a limited role in preseason, but even on this first run, those 3 cuts, I mean, it was exactly like college. He can't be tackled by the first tackler. And I don't know how Atlanta's going to use him. I mean, they might split carries with him. He might not be the full workhorse till week 4. But, man, I just love this kid's talent. And by the end of the season, if he wins me this league, I'll probably be buying a Bijan jersey.
All right. If you win, I expect to see that. You know my feelings. Never a rookie in the first round. So he went second round. I can't say whether I'd have taken him at 2-8. Probably, if he's still there. But I've done 50-some best ball drafts, and he's been in the first round in 52 of them, so. Yeah,
so what would you have done there, Danger? Would you have taken Diggs to have that 1 wide receiver, or would you have gone Bijan where I was at? I felt like it was so hard to pass it up.
I mean, Ted, you can speak to this too. I mean, I feel like it's easier to get those mid to late running backs that are going to be impactful than the wide receivers.
I don't know if I back you up on this.
I don't know if you can back me up on it. I'm just saying you tell me a little bit. I feel like it's like 4 wide receivers in the first 6 rounds is almost a must.
Well, just on the Bijan thing alone, I was considering Bijan at 4th overall, so I really can't. I don't know.
You're all crazy.
Second round thing is
Crazy.
I'm very jealous of Coach White here.
Yeah.
And as far as the receivers, I think you're right. Especially if you've been doing a lot of best ball in the best ball streets, the wide receivers are absolutely flying. I think it'll be from the couple redrafts I've done. It's not as extreme, but it's still this is the year of the wide receiver. And you're right. If you don't get them early, you end up looking at like Zay Jones, and you're like, why am I looking at Zay Jones right now? And it's not a good place to be.
It's a bad feeling. All right, Coach, I appreciate it. We'll catch you in a little bit.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, Ted, let's talk about you. Let's talk about Tyreek Hill. Let's talk about me taking Waddle in the round after. I've been on record earlier this year saying that Waddle would finish the year with more points than Hill. Am I crazy, man?
You're not crazy. I would not be completely shocked if that happened. I just think if that happens, they'll both have scored a lot of points, or Hill will have gotten hurt. But
I should tell you, I've made exactly 2 bets on my DraftKings Sportsbook this year. And one was for Miami Dolphins to win the AFC, and 2 was for the Miami Dolphins to win the Super Bowl. So I'm pretty high on them. I'm not going to lie. Now, I will admit that was like the week or 2 that I thought that Dalvin Cook was going to sign with them and just lock up that offense.
Well, did you see now they might be getting Jonathan Taylor? They are apparently the first team to have thrown their hat in the ring in the Jonathan Taylor trade sweepstakes.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Jonathan Taylor, there we go.
There he goes. Nugged Toph says, get Kennedy back online. He won our league last year. Well, we're trying. We would love it. Could you call him and tell him to figure it out? I'd appreciate that. Thanks. So what is your thoughts on Jonathan Taylor? I mean, obviously the news of where he's going to play has made him drop to the 3rd round in our league here.
I think if he goes to Miami, he's right back up in the 1st round. I think Miami would be a better spot for him than Indianapolis. I think he would shoot right back up there. But for now, while he's still in Indianapolis, even putting aside the contract and the injury and all that, it's not looking like the greatest situation because Anthony Richardson is a rookie, Anthony Richardson is raw, and Anthony Richardson is a dual threat quarterback, and all of those are bad for running back production. And like any one of those would be like a slight downgrade, all 3 together, you're worried. And he wasn't even that great last year. He was injured. He was not as good as you would hope for.
Well, George Moreno, that is the question of the day. Where is Chris Kennedy? So if you know him, send him a text. Figure it out. My friend, Wes O'Leary, good friend of mine, a fellow beer distributor person. I don't know why I just jumbled that. We are managers for breweries. Says Bijan so early. You're right. He should have been a 3rd round pick. I'm sticking by it. Ted. Make your pick here. I'm going to go ahead and bring our friend Jay in here to talk about his picks while you figure out your pick. So here comes Jay. How are you, Jay?
Danger, Ted. What's going on, fellas?
Oh, man. Hey, happy to be here. Trying to get the first beer down to get the party started.
Yeah, I saw you popped open the old champagne there to open up the draft. Not much of a better way to do it.
It is the only way to fly, my friend. The only way.
No, that's right.
I got to make a pick here. So you tell us about what you've done with your first 3.
Well, I was hoping Chase would fall to me. That was my target at 103 there. And then sort of how it trickled back down, I was either going to take Allen or Hurts at 2.10. I was determined to come away with a top 3 quarterback in the draft today. And so I took Allen there. I liked Allen a little bit more than Hurts this season. And then I wanted Andrews. It sort of worked out for me how I've wanted it to so far, getting a sort of a top 2 player at each position that I've been able to draft at. So I'm feeling pretty good. And Ted, Devontae Smith was my other option, actually, that I considered. I agree with what I was saying earlier about the importance of getting those receivers early this year. And but Andrews there, I felt like I had to take him.
I dig it. Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad it's all working out for you. I hope it is not. And the next time we bring you up, I hope you're failing miserably and we're stealing all of your picks. Not going to lie.
Thanks for having me on. Talk to you guys later.
Appreciate you, brother. All right, Ted. You added Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir. I was excited about that. I was hoping he would make it there because he's my my last of that second tier of receivers, or second or third, depending on how big you want to make your tiers. But I feel like after him, there's a pretty steep drop off. So I was really happy to get him there.
I have a feeling, and maybe it's, no base to this feeling, but I feel like we're going to have that kind of situation. Remember how you like to point out that I was so angry at Devontae Adams, but yet he finished as like wide receiver 3, and you're like, what more do you want from him? And I said, well, yeah, but he did it all in 4 games. So you got a lot of nothing from him the rest of the year, right? I have this weird feeling that that's going to be A.J. Brown this year. I think A.J. Brown's going to outscore Devonta Smith, but I think Smith's going to be the steady Eddie in that offense.
That's definitely possible. Smith last year was certainly more the steady, but I guess that's just because Brown scored 20 every game and then 40 some games. So hard to complain there. The one stat that's really sold me on Brown this year is it's something like, I'm not going to pull the number out of my head, but it's like through week 10, he had like 8 deep targets. And then weeks 10 through 18, he had like, 30 or like twice as, it was like incredible. And he scored like twice as many fantasy points too. It was like, so now I'm all in on the AJ Brown deep threat train. So he's one of my favorite targets in the
Haney MB. Yes. Chris Kennedy was here. His internet was messing up and he hasn't made it back yet. So, we're working on him. We hope he comes back. So I took DK Metcalf right after you took Smith. Frankly, I wanted Smith. That was my guy. You sniped him from me. But I'm happy with Metcalf. I'm happy anytime you're in the 3rd round and can get a number 1 stud wide receiver. I don't know if Geno Smith can repeat a really solid season. What do you think about Geno Smith?
I really like Geno Smith for fantasy at the very least. I think he was really good last year, and all he went and did was add the best rookie receiver in this draft and one of the best pass catching running backs in this draft. And so I think I really love Geno Smith as a like mid-round fantasy. In terms of like as a quarterback in the real world, maybe not quite as much love there, and especially from a DK perspective, do I trust him to support 3 fantasy wide receivers? Maybe not. So you got to make sure you pick the right one, which I guess DK is certainly the safest one of the 3 if you're going to pick one.
Absolutely. All right. We got one more person. We haven't got 2 more people we haven't got to. One is not here because he's running his business. Making money more important than football. It's ridiculous. But so for now, we'll bring in Jeremy Miller, another first timer to the Dr. Roto League.
That's true. Hi guys, how you doing?
We're doing very well. So I like Austin Eckler. I'm a fan of Austin Eckler. I'm a fan of Stephon Diggs. I like Jalen Hurts. You gotta like your team so far.
I do. I'm ecstatic how things fell. I mean, I was surprised. I thought Kelsey was going to be there. Actually, that was going to be my pick. So
no chance.
I know.
No
but
chance.
When you took him, I was like, oh man. So a good backup plan though is Eckler. So I couldn't.
Jeremy, you're like the second most active guy in our staff Discord. I talk about Kelsey all the time. You should have figured that one out.
I know. You just never know. You never know how drafts are going to go. But I thought maybe he might slip by you, but I kind of figured he probably wouldn't. So I was happy to take Eckler though. So. And then to come back and get Diggs, I mean, I can't complain about that in the middle of the 2nd round because I would have probably taken him if I was at the end of the 1st round. So, I mean, pretty happy about that. And then I was debating on Hurts. I couldn't decide if I wanted to go quarterback early, but I thought, getting one of the top 3 quarterbacks there in the middle of the 3rd round, you can't really go wrong. So I was pretty happy.
All right, I'm going to bring Wes's comment up here one more time. Wes is a friend of mine and also a raging Lions fan, so forgive him. I don't know. Gibbs before Monty, maybe. I mean, yeah, you got to do Gibbs. Yeah, Gibbs before Monty. Sit down, Wes. Drink another beer.
I mean, I would take Gibbs before Monty every day. So you got to have that upside. You know what I mean? He's going to be electric, I think. So Gibbs is a great pick.
Yeah, I dig it. All right, Jeremy, we'll bring you back in a little bit.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate you coming on with us tonight.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Did I just see Kirk Cousins go off the board?
All right. We got to bring her in. All right, what's your problem, Alicia? What's your problem?
I love Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, 4th quarterback off the board, 5th quarterback off the board.
Yeah, I agree that he's very underrated. Honestly, I'd rather have him over a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie here. I like him more than Lamar. I mean, I like a few other people before him, but I'm down on Lamar. I know Ted's going to be mad at me. I just said
I am mad at you.
I know. I'm ruffling feathers. I am not a Lamar guy. But no, I like Cousins, and full disclosure, Michigan State lifelong fan, so been watching him a long time, and all he does is continue to be a top 10 quarterback in fantasy every year with nobody talking about him.
And I like pocket passers. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just.
And without Cook, he's got to throw the ball more, right?
Yep.
They add Addison, who's a stud.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. What was I gonna say?
I don't hate it. You know, the worst thing about hosting this, Alicia, and having my screen shared is I can't build a queue because then you guys would see what I'm doing. It's the worst. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, not exactly the way I was hoping to pick things, but it's gonna work. I mean, I had Geno Smith in my Millie. I love Geno Smith. I would absolutely pick him again.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a good year out of him.
I like Jared Goff too. Sometimes I like to go with the, not the top 5 quarterbacks and see how my wide receivers do with them.
Oh, I dig it. All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll bring you back around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you. All right. Look, I know he's freaking out over there. Come on, Heat. Come on in, buddy.
Oh, yeah, dude. This draft is great so far, man. I had to pick it my guy. I could have picked Cooper Kupp. I picked Nick Chubb over Cooper Kupp, man. What am I doing?
You like those AFC North running backs, huh, buddy?
Oh, yeah. So here's the theory that I'm going with right now. I knew I wasn't. There was one point I was looking at Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, especially Hurts. I was like, if he comes back around me, boom, swooped in, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm like, Jeremy grabbed him, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna pick Najee, and I'm gonna pick Chris Olave, and I'm gonna pick Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson has screwed me 2 years in a row. This dude should be getting multiple touchdowns running, which helps this league because we all know that a 6-point rushing touchdown. And this dude has just literally flattened. If he doesn't do it this year, they need to trade him. I'm done with this guy. And I need to start picking him. But for now, he looks so scrumptious.
Well, I tell you, I am I just took Dameon Pierce as my running back one. Not ideal for a running back one. Yeah, obviously, running backs in our staff league are going faster than the general public right now. But I knew that I was taking that risk, and I want guys that have the role. Okay, and Pierce has the role. Might not be a sexy team, but he's there. But I feel that about Chubb. He's got the backfield more or less to himself. I feel that about Harris. If you're going to take running backs, you got to have them with the role. And I feel like you're safe there, my man. All right, buddy. We'll bring you back in a little bit. We'll let you and Ted have just a party over Lamar Jackson together.
Yeah, man, let's go.
So you hate my hate of Lamar Jackson, huh, Ted?
I really do. What I hate is Heat picking Lamar Jackson right before I could. But I told myself earlier today, I was looking at all my teams and I was like, I don't have any Fields and I need to get a share of Fields somewhere. And so this is where I decided to do it, was take my Fields. But I love Lamar. I don't have any Fields shares because I have 1 million Lamar shares on all my best ball teams, all of everything. I think with the new OC and with the new weapons and with health, and they got rid of their strength trainer who apparently was the cause of all their injury problems, or at least that's what I'm telling myself. I think they're all going to be healthy and he's going to return to MVP form. That's what I'm hoping for.
All right, good luck. I'm hoping not, because I bet heavily against it. So, I want nothing to do with that. Speaking of Justin Fields, you said you've been loading up on him even in best ball. Who are you pairing him with? Who is it? Is it Komet?
Oh, I was actually saying the opposite. I was saying I don't have any Fields. That's why I wanted to get one.
I'm sorry. I thought you said you were getting some Fields. All right, you're going to take him in best ball. You're going to stack him, and you want 2 of his pieces. Is Komet have to be one?
Oh, I don't like Komet, but yeah,
Are you playing with Herbert just to get the swing passes?
No, I don't think so. I think you're right. Komet has to be one. It's Moore, it's Mooney, it's Komet. Those are the 3. I I was trying to convince myself on Chase Claypool early in the offseason. I was trying to buy the Chase Claypool, but nothing has looked good for him in preseason and camp. So I think I wasted some money there on Chase Claypool. But I think you're right. It's Kmet, and then Moore or Mooney is probably the answer if you're trying to stack Fields.
Yeah, I think Fields is a big enough weapon in a best ball league because he's certainly going to have those weeks where he tears it up that might not necessarily need to stack him, and you can just build value and around him and don't worry about stacking him up. So we got let's go back. Sorry, Justin. I always got to remember who's the Browns fan. It takes me a minute. So you got Breece Hall there. How are you feeling about legitimately where he's going to end up with Cook in the mix? I don't know if you saw Doc's short video, but he said he thinks, Cook will start the year with a heavy load because Hall actually got banged up a little bit, but he feels like it'll actually end up 60-40 Breece Hall. Are you backing that statement up?
Well, this is Dr. Roto's league, so I got to agree with Dr. Roto, right?
No, he's not here. We don't have to kowtow to him. He didn't show up.
No, I do agree with Doc, though, that, initially, while Hall is recovering and getting back, Dalvin will have the workload there. But then eventually, talent will weigh out. And although Dalvin's a very talented guy, too, I just think Breece, at this point in his career, when healthy, is obviously – a better talent and more explosive.
Sure.
So, this pick was just purely kind of like an upside pick, hoping could be like a league winner type pick later on down the road. Is just too good sitting there to kind of pass up. So, took a shot.
No, I like it. I actually famously said, I don't know if you know my Twitter handle, Justin, but it's Tipsy Picks DFS. I used to do, I used to do some content for another webpage before the Dr. Roto page came around, and I would drink like 7 or 8 beers, and at 3:00 in the morning, I would record myself making ridiculous, $2,000 players on DraftKings as my tipsy pick. And I got a little tipsy when I thought Dalvin Cook was coming to Miami. I bet a buddy that he'd get 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns.
Yeah, we all kind of thought that was going to be the landing spot for Dalvin there. It seemed like, Mike McDaniel was talking about him early in the offseason. And, for fantasy, that would have just been obviously a much better spot than going to the Jets. So I think we were all a little disappointed when he ended up in New York. But, we'll see how it looks. I mean, for the short term, he'll be viable. But, in the long term, this is going to be kind of a little messy.
Yeah, I kind of agree. All right, buddy. I know you're happy with Joe Burrow. No need to touch on that. We'll catch you back when you come back around.
Sounds good. Yep.
All right. I think we got Kickman back. Is he back? I need a thumbs up from him. Maybe not. Oh, see, he runs a store, a very cool store. If you're ever in Naperville, Illinois, he's got lots of cool stuff, Ted. Lots and lots of cool stuff. But I want to yell at him for stealing Mahomes before I could pair him with Kelsey. And I want to figure out why he thinks that Jahmyr Gibbs is worth a 3rd-round pick. But we'll have to.
I really like Gibbs this year. I think if you look at what DeAndre Swift did, and then you look at how much more the Lions coaching staff likes Jahmyr Gibbs than they liked DeAndre Swift, I think it's hard to see him not at least being an RB2 in full PPR with so much more upside than that.
I dig it. All right, let's head back to Jay for a second. Let's find Jay here. All right, Jay, we took DJ Moore. We took J.K. Dobbins. You just have a thing for guys with 2 initials or what? What's the deal?
Basically, yeah. It's if I could find out what Josh Allen's middle name was, we could just maybe plug it in and we could work it into the system. But, yeah, I like Moore a lot this year. Fields was somebody that I would have considered in round 4 if I hadn't taken Allen, and obviously if he'd have made it that far. But I really like Moore a lot here. And Dobbins, for me, I see him lower than, or I should say higher than Dameon Pierce in a lot of rankings, and I don't get that. I would have rather had Pierce there and Danger, so you snagging him there. I would have actually taken him at 410. if he was there. But I felt like I needed a running back, guys. Didn't want to wait until the 6th round to snag one. And Dobbins, there's obviously a lot of injury stuff there, man. But when he's on, he's explosive as it gets. And at this point, needed a running back. So.
Yeah, I like it. I like Dobbins. I mean, look, obviously Lamar runs the ball.
Yeah.
But Dobbins puts up points, man. Every time he's healthy, he still puts up points.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention too, the last time I was on, like Bijan at 2.3, like that. I love that. I know, Danger, you were in his. I love Bijan there.
Jay, I'm not gonna lie. I might have passed on him if he was still at 3.5. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm just talking out my ass now. That's wrong.
You could blame it on me having being down here in Central Texas and watching him live quite a few times, but Bijan, special talent. But no, for real, yeah, happy with how it's gone so far, guys, and got to start looking for another running back and then just picking up some value. So
I like it. Well, thanks, brother. We'll bring you back on in a little bit.
All right, see you guys.
All right. Who haven't we talked to in a while, Ted? Do you want to talk some more? I kind of forget you're here sometimes. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just
mostly because you ditched me once when I came to New York. So
wow, you didn't have to bring that up.
I'm never going to forget it.
Wow,
never going to be forgotten.
You got to come back. I promise I will not ditch you again.
All right. So Christian Watson was your last pick. He showed some promise last year, but he had Aaron Rodgers throwing to him. Did I see something like the last 70 years the Packers have had 5 quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think I've seen that same thing. It was like they haven't had a bad quarterback in like my whole lifetime. And
right.
So Jordan Love is ready to.
So like Jordan Love's not going to be that guy, right? Come on.
Probably not.
Come on.
Not their 3rd straight Hall of Fame quarterback. I sure hope not. That would be unfair.
Right. So that would be no good. I hate it. I hate it so much. Let's see. We got a good comment here from Daniel talking about Chris Kennedy. It was either easier for him to have Wi-Fi problems than for everyone to see how many My Little Pony figurines he has on the shelves behind him. I think that's pretty funny. Just saying. I don't know. Although they're worth a lot of money in some circles, so I wouldn't blame them. It's all good.
Did you notice that as soon as his green screen went down, that was when his Wi-Fi went down? His green screen went down. You could see the figurines, and then all of a sudden he disappears. What's up with that, Chris?
That's true.
I don't know.
What is up with that? All right, let's head back to Coach White for a minute. Let's find Al. There's Al. How are you, buddy?
Doing well, guys. Loving this draft so far.
You got 2 of my favorite players in your last 2 picks. I'm super high on Trevor Lawrence, and I would have taken him if he came back to me here. Javonte Williams, man, I think people forgot how good he is.
Yes, they did. I mean, last year, we were taking him right at the front end of round 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's an ACL tear, but we've seen these guys bounce back year over year with ACL tears. And, I mean, he was a stud in college. He showed that he can catch the ball in the NFL. And, I mean, what else do the Broncos have? I mean, now he's not splitting carries. We're not worried about that with Melvin Gordon. So now it's just his backfield. I think getting him there is an absolute steal. And I honestly thought Trevor Lawrence was a steal right there. I didn't think he would be falling to that position. I thought I'd be stuck with taking Anthony Richardson in the 8th or 9th round and just hoping and praying at quarterback. But so far, I'm loving this draft.
Yeah, it's looking good for you. I hate to say it, but I'll admit it. It looks good.
Thanks, guys.
Good. I don't know. I could argue with you over D-Hop that he's gassed and done. I could argue that.
You can argue that. But once he plays the same division that he murdered when he was playing for the Texans, we can have that conversation when he goes off for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns against Texans 2 times this season.
All right. What's his first game? Do you know off the top of your head?
I do not.
I got to find out. Will he get 200 yards and 2 touchdowns before he misses 2 games with a tweaked ankle?
Their first game is the Saints. Titans Saints week 1.
Saints a good D. Saints a good D.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a great matchup with, I'm assuming it'd be Marshawn Lattimore, but it is what it is. I like D-Hop there. I'll take him in the 3rd round.
Hey, I'm on the clock and there's 15 seconds. Hi, guys.
I mean, we can't deny the talent year over year. Like, he just continues to perform. Last year, I mean, You know, he got a little bit banged up, but he had Kyler Murray throwing him the ball. And this year, it's not much better with Tannehill, but at the end of the day, D-Hop always gets it done. And I think he's still one of the best wide receivers, pure-handed wide receiver in the league. So I'll take that all day at 310.
Well, I appreciate it, buddy. We'll be back to you in a little bit.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Ted. Panic pick of Chris Godwin. How'd that go?
That was a panic pick of Chris Godwin straight off the top of my queue. So I was hoping you wouldn't get it. I was like, don't let him make that pick. I was like, oh,
the thing started chiming at me. I went, oh shit, I'm on the clock. Damn it.
Now I need to panic pick because he was right on the top of my queue. I don't know where to go from here.
I just hate when that happens. I just absolutely hate when that happens. It's nice. Hey. All right, well, I'll let you do that, and I'm gonna bring Jeremy back in for a second. All right, Jeremy. Listen, man. Me and Mr. White, we're not friends. We're not friends. You got Stevenson and White. You got my two. Like, don't draft these guys. Although it is more appropriate that he went in the 4th round than where Stevenson has been going.
Right.
I don't know about White. I think is he going to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield a ton? Because that's his only hope.
He is. I think
they have no offensive line. Now I just picked Godwin. Okay, panic pick Godwin.
I'm banking on a lot of carries because there's not a really good back there with them. I mean, they have Sean Tucker now, but I mean, they don't really have much else there. So I'm thinking as long as he stays healthy, he's going to get a lot of touches. He's going to get a lot of carries, a lot of catches. So I like him a lot. Actually, I know you don't. I knew you wouldn't like my Stevenson pick, but I couldn't pass on him there. I mean, I still think he has value there, even with Zeke. I know Zeke's going to steal some of the touchdowns, but I mean, he's going to catch the ball out of the backfield. He's still going to have a role because I still like him. So, and I had Zeke on a lot of teams last year, and man, he didn't look good when I was watching him play. So I don't know how much he has left, but I guess we'll see with New England. So
yeah, we'll see. I tell you what, I do love Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
I drafted a lot early in best ball, and I loaded up on Denver talent because it was like, you were getting Jeudy in the 6th, 7th round. You were getting Russell Wilson as like the 15th quarterback off the board. You were getting Sutton in like the 10th round. And I was like, guys, they have one of the greatest all-time play callers coming to change their offense. Come on.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I have a lot of Jeudy too. I also had a lot of Tim Patrick early in best ball as well because I could get him late as well. So that kind of burnt me a little bit. But
I think I have him in 5 spots out of 50. So it's not good.
I probably had him in about 10 out of 40. So I had a lot of them. So
I've moved to Mims a little bit. Any love for Mims?
I did. I like him a lot too. I think he'll step into that role. I mean, they drafted him pretty high for a reason. I thought he was going to get some run anyways, but I was really banking on Patrick playing. But yeah, I like Mims. I think he'll have a good role now, especially. So
I like it. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yep, no problem. Thank you.
Oh, did we just have our first auto pick of the draft, or did Justin get there just in time?
I don't know. We'll come back to him in a minute. I'm going to go back to Alicia Hunt for just a minute. Let's see how we're doing over there. All right. How do you feel your team is loading up there? You get Cam Akers. Little controversial pick this year. We'll get to Heat in a minute. We'll ask him in a minute. He's our resident Rams diehard. But the way that man finished the season last year, I feel like he deserves that kind of 4th or 5th round pick.
Yeah, I think he's going to kick some asses here.
He didn't win me millions, but he certainly won me some DFS at the end of the season.
Yeah.
He did well. Dallas Goedert too. I'm a huge fan of Dallas Goedert.
Another guy kind of under the radar. He still got it,
These guys took Swift, and as somebody who watched him play in Detroit over and over and over again, he is out of his mind putting him on his team. So we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that in a minute. No, I really like Akers. I'm glad that you do too. ETN is like my lock. I was really, I almost took him instead of Metcalf, but I talked all that game about taking your receivers first, and I just couldn't pull the trigger. But he was going to be there.
I wanted Matson, but hey.
Talking about best ball, it like literally almost all my teams either have a full-blown Jacksonville stack or a full-blown Broncos stack. Like I just love both ends of that.
What do you think about Russell this year?
I think that he could be who he showed he was last year. He could be. But you bring Sean Payton in, who is a better play caller than Pete Carroll, run the ball down the middle 30 times, except for when it could win you a Super Bowl. I'm high on it. And you have to be, if you want to win these best ball leagues, you have to find these teams with these opportunities. And I felt Denver was that team.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm not going to panic pick. So I'm going to let you go, and we're going to let Ted chat a little bit. All right, Ted. Tell me about your team and how it's filling out while I not panic pick my next pick.
Well, the one thing that is making me feel a little nervous looking at my team right now is I've only got the one running back. And I know I said earlier you don't want to be looking at Zay Jones as when you need wide receivers. All of a sudden I'm looking at A.J. Dillon and I need running backs, and I'm not feeling so great about it. So it's just me, and right in front of me, we're back to back, and we're the only ones left with the one running back. So we'll see which of us breaks first and picks one. But I don't know. I'm wondering
so you're
if
saying I should start taking running backs off the board right now is what you're trying to say.
No, I'm saying you should probably pick a kicker. Nobody's picked one of those yet. So
yeah, be different. Be bold.
Yeah. You know, they say to zag when everyone else zigs. So
I'm not going to be different. I'm not going to be bold.
What about our guy Kittle? He's still right there. He's been at the top of the queue.
I know, man. I'm kind of staring at him here, but I don't know. I can't tie that up right now. I need running backs. I need more running backs. I'm going to go A.J. Dillon. I don't know about A.J. Dillon. How do you feel about Dillon and Jones? I mean, Jones is a showman when he's healthy.
Yeah, I feel the thing about Dillon is, like you were saying earlier, with Rodgers gone, like we've been waiting for Dillon to break out for 4 years in an Aaron Rodgers-led offense, and now we want him to break out in a Jordan Love-led offense. I just don't know if I have faith in him. I feel like he's a handcuff that you're paying extra price for because people still believe that he'll have standalone value.
I'm hoping as my third running back that Jones gets injured and he takes over, and that Jordan Love is inept and they just have to creatively run the ball.
True. That's the thing, is maybe actually the Jordan Love offense is better for the running backs because you don't want Jordan Love throwing the ball.
Definitely
maybe,
not.
Maybe Jordan Love is the third Hall of Fame quarterback. And
hey, could be. I don't know.
Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. Very strange things happen frequently. All right. Who were we just saying we were going to talk to?
Oh, I forgot. You were talking to Heat about
Justin.
Canada.
We were going to find out if Terry McLaurin was an accidental pick or a panic pick like Godwin.
No, I mean, I'm not. I picked him, but obviously Sam Howell. We're not 100% certain what we're going to get out of Howell, but I still feel like McLaurin was solid enough there, to be a wide receiver too, behind Jefferson on my squad there. So backed him up with Tyler Lockett, who I really like. Lockett's numbers aren't, that dissimilar from Metcalf's over the past several years. So he's kind of been a target of mine in drafts, and happy to have him. And like I said, McLaurin, all kind of depends. He should be fine. The volume's always there. I do feel like Jahan Dotson's ascending a little bit, so they're kind of narrowing the gap there between those two. But, all in all, I'm happy with it.
I like it. I forgot how difficult it is, fellas, preparing for a draft that you can't build a queue. I could figure out maybe could I do this?
Did Ted go running back there?
No,
not yet.
You still haven't. Oh wow. What's are you looking at like Rico Dowdell or Malik Davis or something here at some point?
Yeah, I guess I'll just draft all the rookies and hope somebody in front of one of them gets hurt. Right? I've only got the green box. Eventually, I'll just paint the whole bottom half of the draft green, and one of them will have it.
Rojo's still kicking around down there in Dallas, isn't he?
I think so, yeah.
He is. Well, you've now drafted one more wide receiver than you can even play with a flex without filling your running back spot. So I don't know, Ted.
I'm just very prepared for bye week's danger.
I like it. All right, thanks, Justin. Well, I wish Chris Kennedy was here. Should we make fun of his team?
Yes, let's. That's a great idea.
Let's do it. Can we make fun of his team? I haven't looked. So on my screen, not only can I not build a queue because everybody can see it, but in order to see the comments that are coming in, I have to cover Kennedy and Cam's picks. So frankly, I don't even know who's on their teams. So I'm going to pull this aside and take a look here. He's got CeeDee Lamb. Okay, CeeDee Lamb's good. Garrett Wilson. He's a guy that I have stayed away from because I'm not interested in taking a jet in the first 2 rounds. But what do you think about him in all honesty? What's your feeling on Garrett Wilson?
My feeling is bad. I think this is one of the ones where he's so hyped that in my heart, I want to hate him, but it's hard to argue with the talent. And, it's like, the other thing is like, everybody's like, he's going to break out. He's the next top 6, top 5 alpha wide receiver. And last year he was nowhere near that. Like his production isn't anything close to that. But then you look at his like yards per run, all his peripheral numbers, and then you look at his quarterback and you look at who his quarterback is now. And it's really hard to argue with the fact that he could be the next guy, but I agree with you. In my soul, I don't want to like Garrett Wilson, even if my brain slightly disagrees.
So we've got 2 very young, talented wide receivers in CeeDee Lamb and Garrett Wilson, and then we've got the elder statesman and Keenan Allen. Does he have one more top-tier year in him? And for that matter, does Mike Williams? I mean, those 2 guys have been so banged up, so much elite talent on that field that hardly even play together, to be honest.
Yeah, that is the question with Allen. It's like you look at you filter by any number, you filter by targets, yards per game, whatever it is. There he is at the top for 2022. He was incredible for the 4 games he played or whatever, but those 4 games were special. So it's almost like, is he like Christian McCaffrey, where we're all like, oh no, he's injury prone, and then he just stays healthy and wins people leagues, or is he like Michael Thomas, where we're a year too early and we just need to get out now before it's too late?
Yeah. Moving on down, Hawkinson, everybody loves, nothing much to say there. Kenneth Walker, I'm a huge fan of Kenneth Walker. Let's bring Coach White in for a minute since he made his pick, and he's our college guy. Now, Kenneth Walker, of course, a Michigan Spartan for 1 year. That got him a big fat NFL contract in that 1 year. And he looked pretty good last year. Can he be a RB1 for Chris Kennedy with Zach Charbonnet coming in?
Yeah, he can be. I mean, RB1 is pushing it, but if that's what he's got as an RB1, yeah, I think he's better than Miles Sanders. But honestly, I think David Montgomery is going to be better than both of them. I think we're all forgetting what Jamal Williams did last year on the 1 yard line for the Lions. Why would they go get Montgomery and get rid of Jamal Williams? Because Montgomery is a bruiser and he's going to score those 1 yard touchdowns. Honestly, if he was going to fall, I was not taking Kittle. I was taking Montgomery. So I was a little bit butthurt about that pick.
Sure.
I honestly think that's going to be his number 1 running back by the end of the season.
All right. And then, Charbonnet. I know we just put out your video today about Mr. Charbonnet.
Yep.
What's he going to take away from Walker in that offense? What's he bringing to the table?
He's going to take a little bit of everything away. Honestly, I could just see him splitting series by midseason. I think it's going to be Kenneth Walker's show at the start of the year, and a lot of people are going to be a little bit upset that they didn't take him, but he's got injury risks. He did in college. He did when he played for Wake Forest before he even transferred to Michigan State. We saw it last season with Seattle. He didn't play the full year, and it's going to happen. So Charbonnet is going to find his way into a role, and then when Walker gets back, it's probably going to be a 60-40 split. I do think Charbonnet has better talent than Walker. I think Walker is explosive once he finds his holes, but Charbonnet's vision just beats him out. I don't know, 10 out of 10 times, man. The kid's really solid. There's no real holes in Charbonnet's game. Kenneth Walker has some glaring holes, in my opinion.
Fair enough. And then he also took Jackson Smith-Njigba. Njigba. Sorry, I'm working on it. I'm working on saying that smoothly. I'm getting there. I probably just need to, there we go.
That'll loosen the tongue.
That'll get there. I would have brought him into my team even with already having Metcalf on my team if he'd have made it to me. Is he worth that? Will he eclipse Tyler Lockett this year?
No, I don't think he'll eclipse him. I mean, he has a chance to, but Lockett's been so solid, man. He always kind of slips in these drafts. I don't know where he went or who he went to, but, JSN fell at the right spot. Let's see. Where did Lockett go? Can we look at that really quick?
Lockett went at the beginning of round 7, and Smith went and picked 11 of round 7.
I would take Lockett before JSN. I think JSN is going to be a better receiver in his career overall. He does have number one ability, but he's just not going to overtake Metcalf this season. And Lockett just has such a firm grasp. And, he's got that captain mentality. So I feel like JSN's got a perfect leader above him that he's going to learn a lot from this season. But I don't think he overtakes him. If for some reason Lockett goes down, which he's done a few times, JSN could end up with a 1,000-yard season, and I wouldn't bat an eye at it.
I dig it. Well, thanks for talking about somebody else's team. Your last two picks, you took Christian Kirk, who before I saw some of those highlight reels from Calvin Ridley, I thought Kirk was still going to lead that team this year. I think he's talented, but man, Ridley's cuts that he was making in those videos look sweet. Of course, that's preseason, non-contact stuff that I saw. Do you think Kirk still has the ability to outscore Ridley on the year?
No, I don't. I think Ridley's the pick, but I'm getting a 3 to 4 round discount, and we saw what Trevor Lawrence did.
You got a 5-round discount.
Yeah, and we saw what he did with Zay Jones and Evan Ingram last year. So we know that offense can support multiple studs. So what? Kirk ends up with 900 yards and 10 touchdowns. Oh gosh, I got him in the 7th round. Right. What a bummer! Like that is.
And I'm not gonna lie, man. I almost added Kittle to Kelsey just for fun.
Yeah, and then Kittle was on my team last year when I won, so I felt like when I didn't get Montgomery, it was the time to take Kittle. He was not going to make it back to me, so I figured I needed somebody from last season's team to ring in this year's.
So I saw a random Athletic short piece today about Ronnie Bell on the 49ers. Do you like him?
He's okay. I don't really have any feelings towards Ronnie Bell. He's just one of those players.
Come on, hype up our Niners for us, damn it.
Yeah, you're trying to plug in where you can, Danger, but I'm not going to give you anything, man. It's, he's fine. I'll give you that. He's fine.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks.
Take care.
All right, Ted, you did end up bringing in Herbert with Fields. How about that?
Yeah, I don't know about the Herbert Fields stack, as it were. I just felt like I needed a running back desperately, and Herbert was my favorite on the board, regardless of the Fields thing. I think I'm definitely worried about Donta Foreman, Roschon Johnson. There's a lot of backs there, but I think Herbert's going to get the first shot at it. So as long as he can stay healthy, I think hopefully he can hold on to that job and do something with it.
I like it. All right, let's go back to Jeremy Miller for a minute. I know you're going to be picking up soon, right after me, and I'm going to try to. Who are you picking next? Jeremy, who are you picking next?
I'm not sure. It depends on who you're picking.
Almost got you. So we talked earlier for Justin's pick of Terry McLaurin, and I know that it appears perhaps you are a Washington football team fan.
I am, believe it or not.
Perhaps. How are you feeling about Sam Howell? Tell me.
I like him a lot. I think he has a lot of upside. I liked him at North Carolina, so I was happy when they picked him late, coming off that bad season. I mean, they were able to get him in the 6th round, so it worked out pretty well for them. And then he's been really good in camp, and he's shown a lot of promise. So he has the weapons. I mean, I love Doxson, and I love McLaurin, even though I just got an alert that said he hurt his toe tonight in the preseason game, but luckily X-rays were negative so far, so hopefully he'll be okay. But yeah, I like Howell. I think he's going to be good. We'll see just how good, but he's got some weapons there. So
dig it. I'm going to take a chance on Michael Thomas. I think that's probably dumb, but I don't care. I know Heat did it last year and it burned him. So let's go over here and talk to Heat about Michael Thomas. Oh, you're muted. Usually that's a good thing.
I'm never muted. I'm only contained. Oh yeah. Yeah. Dude, Michael Thomas was great for like a few games to try to come back. Dude just doesn't want to play football. But I did make a trade for him in one of my dynasty leagues. But that's okay. Let me make a pick real quick because I want to break your guys' soul and everything. Because, I've been doing that this whole draft. So you guys are done. You guys are so done.
Yeah, Ted, I feel like for myself here, that taking Kelsey number 1 overall gives me a little leniency in filling out that kind of flex wide receiver spot. And why not take a chance on a guy with a new quarterback and a new system, and maybe he develops the love for the game for one more year? maybe.
I've been taking lots of chances on Michael Thomas late in drafts just because at this point, the upside with him compared to Alan Lazard or Cortland Sutton, like they're never going to do what Michael Thomas has shown he can do. So I think you hope and pray and you take him sometimes and see what happens.
Dude, you so dropped it right there. Sometimes you got to take the player that makes that game.
Hey guys, I just figured out how I could hide my cue, but then I can't see it, so that doesn't help.
Well, that does kind of help. But going back to the 7th round, you guys brought up a few receivers this round. In the 7th round, on one of my championship teams that I talked about earlier in this draft, all 3 of those wide receivers were on that team. And those wide receivers was Marquise Brown, Tyler Lockett, and Christian Kirk. Now, those 3 receivers provided. So when everybody goes, well, what does a wide receiver do for you? We should just pick Cooper Kupp because Cooper Kupp gets almost 15 targets a game. Like, I don't even know, like, when Cooper Kupp's healthy and Stafford's healthy, anybody that doesn't pick Cooper Kupp, they just get targets. So we're all hoping that TJ Hawkinson, we're all hoping that Smith Njigba, whatever.
Come on.
Njigba gets those targets, but then we're all drafting, some people are drafting Justin Jefferson first, right? The Rams don't got nobody. Nobody likes Cam Akers for the last year. That's been properly displayed in a lot of Bring the Pain episodes about my hate for Cam Akers. And it's no hate. He blew his Achilles. He's slow now. He got nothing. So while he's just trotted around the field, got Kyrie Williams, blah, blah, blah. Yo, Van Jefferson's a joke at this point. The only Rams offensively you should draft right now is Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee, and Zach Evans if you're in a dynasty league. That being said, when we go back and we look at why the heck is Pete Override taking 4 running backs? Because those 4 running backs are all starting running backs. If 2 running backs go down, I could plug in easily 2 of those running backs. But guess what? I have Cortland Sutton, who's going to be the big dude this year. Watch it out. Go down. And I pulled in a tight end. I didn't want Freiermuth. I actually was hoping George Kittle slipped to me, but that didn't happen. And I do got to say something, man. The Terry McLaurin, Tyler Lockett come around, man, if one of them receivers would have slipped to me, I would have took it too. But that's how you break drafts, gentlemen.
Hey.
Yeah.
I got a bet for you live on air.
What? Like, come on.
You owe me a 49ers hat. I owe you a Rams hat.
Okay. All right.
Kenneth Gainwell outscores Swift this year.
No, I'm taking Swift. And it's not because I invested into him for this league and this league only. It's because if this man eventually, Christian McCaffrey was healthy again and he produced, eventually Swift should be healthy and he will produce. Is this year? I'm taking the chance. Gainwell ain't doing it.
Nah, man. Swift ain't staying healthy. It's Gainwell's team.
Dude, but still, he doesn't even have a name. His name is Kenneth Gainwell. Like, that's his just name.
He gains well, baby. That's a perfect name for him.
It could be Gainwell, Lockett, and Chase. That could be a straight law firm. But you know what? You can't put Swift in a law firm because nobody wants their case done swiftly. Oh yeah!
All right, you're out of here. I can't handle that anymore. Oh, that was way too long. I kept that. I should have brought the hook out earlier, Ted. Should have brought.
Well, I don't know. I need to hear more about this Gainwell over Swift take.
Because Swift can't stay healthy, man. Yeah, if they both play the games, of course, man. But Swift ain't playing the games. He ain't playing the games. But he did take James Conner, and you and I have had some talks about how we like James Conner at the back end of our running back stable. And I honestly, I thought we'd see some gain in him in ADP, and I think it's actually kind of gone down.
Yeah, I really like James Conner. There is, I think people are scared of him because people are really scared of the whole dead zone running back thing, and he is the epitome of that. He's projected volume, but nobody really loves him as a talent. Like nobody ever feels excited drafting James Conner. But if he stays healthy and if he, touches the ball 15 times a game, even with Colt McCoy back there, I think he easily is going to outperform his current ADP. So I agree. I think that's a great pick for Heat there, especially given he's got DeAndre Swift right in front of him, who, as you seem to say, will never stay healthy in his life. So
that's right. That's right. All right. Hey, Ted, do me a favor. Mm-hmm. Break down Cam's team at the very end, since Cam couldn't join us tonight. What are you thinking about this?
Cam has been known to make some bold calls, but I really like his team. He's got a Chargers stack happening there with Herbert Williams and Quentin Johnston, who I'm very excited about for this year. If I hadn't already taken 7 wide receivers, I might have taken him when it was my chance there. But I think that stack could do great things under Kellen Moore. I think, it's Derrick Henry, like you said, is slipping out of the first round a lot. But if he stays healthy and if he's Derrick Henry, I think the Hopkins thing shows that the Titans are not going to give up and tank. So their offense should at least be salvageable. And then Derrick Henry can do his Derrick Henry thing. I like Cam's team. I think he's got a good thing going there.
Yeah, I have no complaints, man. He said that he was hammered and not going to be able to join us, but he's picking some teams. I know I'm on the clock here. Can we talk a little bit about his pick of McKinnon and where you feel he's going to be still this year? That Kansas City outside of Kelsey is just question marks. Where else is production going to come from in Kansas City?
Yeah, that's the problem. Is it'll probably come from McKinnon at least some weeks, but you never know which weeks. I think I much prefer McKinnon as a best ball pick where you don't have to try and pick and choose. I definitely wouldn't be surprised if McKinnon finished the year as a top, 24 running back, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he did that on 3 top 5 finishes and a bunch of 30, 40 finishes where he doesn't get those 2 touchdown games.
Like it. I'm going to do Elijah Mitchell here. I don't know how much standalone value he has. When we saw CMC healthy and trusted in that offense last year, Ted, we didn't see a lot of Eli Mitchell. I mean, when he played well, as most running backs with any quality do in the San Francisco backfield. But CMC really, even at the end when it counted and he had a calf injury and he was limping around, they still didn't take him out of the game. So Elijah Mitchell may be more of just an oh crap backup sitting there. But if anything happens to CMC, the dude's like a number 12 RB every week, right?
Yeah, I think Mitchell is one of those guys who's at the very least he's one of the best handcuffs. It's like Dylan. It's like at the very least you drafted yourself an elite handcuff, and it's hard to go wrong there. And I think you're being a little harsh on his chances of working his way into the lineup. I think in bye week season, I think you might flex Mitchell and feel okay about it. There were some weeks with McCaffrey around that he was getting 15 carries and some goal line touches, and that's not anything to write home about in full PPR, but it's also not anything to turn your nose up at.
All right, you're a huge 49ers fan. I think our defense suffered a little bit this year. Does that make it more difficult for Eli Mitchell or more positive for him because maybe they run the ball even more this year? Is that possible? Is it possible that they just run the ball more this year?
I think if it weren't for McCaffrey, maybe you might have an argument there. But I think the worry is if we're stuck in close games, they're giving it to CMC. They're not running Elijah Mitchell out there. And if we're ever behind, they're throwing it to CMC. And if we're ever ahead, they're probably throwing it to CMC then too, because why would you ever do anything else? So I think you're right. That might hurt Mitchell a little if the defense takes a step or two back.
Yeah, but you know what? You're going to play the odds, and the odds say CMC won't play a whole year. So I'll take him for those weeks that he's got to play. Hey, we finally have the last cast character here. Finally closed the door to his shop. Finally decided to pay attention to what truly matters in fantasy football and not making a living for his family and kids. Tom, are you here? You're muted. Are you here? You're on mute. There you go.
Yeah, I'm here. Holy moly. It's been a hectic draft. And then I'm running my shop here, and then guys are being taken right before I want to pick them. And it's been stressful.
I gotta express my displeasure in you taking Patrick Mahomes, so I couldn't pair him up with Kelsey.
Right.
I'm a little upset with you. That would have changed the whole dynamic of my draft.
Oh, I was all over Mahomes. I knew I was gonna be able to get a good quality player in the first round, and I was thought for sure around the corner I would be able to get him, and boom, there he was.
And Doc says a lot in Kick We Trust. But man, I hate your running back room, man. Make a case for it. Change my mind.
Well, let's just say that's what I'm looking at right now. I need a little help at running back, yeah. But who knows?
Now, don't take it personally. I hate the Lions, so you never.
Yeah, well, I know, but unfortunately, the Lions are going to be good this year, and it's tough for me as a Vikings fan to say that. Let me tell you.
I think their ceiling is 9-8. You heard it here. The ceiling. I think they go 8-9.
You think the Lions 9-8?
9-8.
Well,
it's
that's
the
good.
Lions, Kickman. It's the Lions. Come on.
Then that means that the Vikings win the Central.
I think the Vikings win the
or
Central,
the North,
man.
or whatever.
And I'm going to go to a game with you on October 23rd, Monday night. 49ers, Vikings.
49. That'll be a great one. We're going to have a lot of fun.
I don't know. How do they feel about away team fans in Minnesota? Do I need to wear my Viking shirt and my 49ers hat?
No, they're pretty nice. As long as you're not obnoxious and an idiot, you'll be okay.
Have you met me?
Yes, I have. A matter of fact.
You're going to be in trouble then, Danger. Maybe wear the Vikings.
I will say I'm taking my dad. We've never gone to a football game together, and because he's a diehard Vikings fan and I'm a 49ers fan, and we live near Detroit, so I'm excited to go. Vikings are my second favorite team, so I don't have as much Vikings gear as my 49ers gear, but I do have a good amount, so I'll probably break out the Viking socks at the very least.
Oh, I like that. And well, you told me that's something that I learned about you. I knew that you really liked the 49ers because every time we're on one of these things, you have something 49ers somewhere.
Got to bring it
up. But I didn't know that you were a closet Vikings fan. That makes me really happy.
I am. It's a true story. I am. And then my AFC team has always been the Bills, so it's been a good couple of years for me being a 49ers, Vikings, and Bills fan.
Wow. If you were at my age and be a Vikings and a Bills fan, you would have had a horrible 70s and then the horrible 80s.
Yeah.
Man, you would have lost 8 Super Bowls. Just
but then you remember I live in Detroit, and they would love to have lost 8 Super Bowls.
Exactly. No, that's true. They haven't won the division since '93, if I'm not mistaken.
They have one playoff game in the Super Bowl era. One playoff win, I should say.
God, 91.
It's not good, man. They have arguably had the greatest receiver of all time and the greatest running back of all time, and couldn't win a playoff game.
Yep, you could argue that.
I won't because it was Jerry Rice,
right?
But Barry's still my number one, and I'm not even a Lions fan. If Barry would have played, 3 more years, he'd broke every record.
I can't argue. Can't argue with that at all.
He walked away, Kick.
If that's what you got to do, leave when you're on top. Right. And like he always said when he didn't celebrate. You get there, do it like you've been there before.
Right.
So
I'm going to take another running back here, and you guys can laugh me away. I'm going to take Zeke at running back 5. Zeke at running back 5.
He was in my queue.
I think he's got some left in his tank, and at running back 5, I think he could be Jamal Williams this year. I think he could be a guy that scores 8 touchdowns and gets 800 yards, and that's fine enough for me for a week. Running back 5, as long as he does it when I drop him in the flex.
Now, why don't you guys like Pacheco? I mean, come on, he could be. McKinnon is like one tweak away from being out for the year, and Pacheco could be the man.
It's because they don't run the ball, Kick.
They don't have to run the ball. They'll just toss it to him, and then he'll get that 3-yard underhanded toss. Have you not seen the quarterback show with the guys? I mean, come on.
I had to turn it off. I actually, listen, Alicia, I'm going to bring you in here. Is that okay? Give me a thumbs up. We good? All right, we're good. I fast forwarded through the Mahomes part.
Oh,
because I find him an irritating human being, and I just wanted more Kirk Cousins in my life. Now, look, he's fine. He's fine. But, he's the guy that does something cool and then calls 12 people back to back and says the same story in the same words and the same to all 12 of them, and I can't handle it. But like Kirk Cousins, just want to go over and have him make you pot pie in Minnesota.
Oh, trust me. You were talking about earlier. If you thought Kirk Cousins' value went up after that show, I think absolutely yes.
I love Kirk.
Yeah, I mean he's one tough SOB, man. I couldn't believe how injured he played all season.
Yeah.
Am I on the clock? Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the clock, Kick. Get out of here.
All right, bye.
Yeah, get out of here. All right, you just picked Cole Kmet. I love Cole Kmet. He is on an abnormally large amount of my best ball teams because I think he's the target in Chicago.
Absolutely. Justin showed that he likes going to him. He's never hurt. So
yeah,
I mean he's solid.
I'm not totally sold on DJ Moore coming in the new system and the new team automatically taking the top targets. I mean, he will, right? I mean, he's going to take the top targets, but it's not going to be like his Carolina days. And I think Cole Kmet's got a little spot for him. Justin is not a decisive quarterback. Let's put that lightly, right? He just isn't. He's looking for the first read of the play. He's looking to see if he can run the ball. Then he's going, oh crap, where's Kmet?
That's my fourth round pick you're talking about right there.
I know. Look, man, I wish that Chris Emmerich was in this with us because he would give you a dissertation of why Justin Fields is a terrible quarterback.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if I think Justin Fields is a good NFL quarterback, but I'm hoping he can be a good fantasy quarterback for at least one more year.
All right, Alicia, you are on the clock here in a minute, so just one last chat with you here. You just heard me go on a rampage about Kenneth Gainwell, but you skipped past him and took Rashard Penny instead. Are you breaking my heart over here?
I did. Rashad Penny, he's got a lot of injury issues, but I think he's going to be better than Swift.
Oh, I mean, I mean, Swift, if they're all healthy, Swift's great.
Swift is great, but
he won't be healthy.
Yeah, but he's gone, so I like Rashad Penny. I think when he was healthy, he did very well in Seattle. And hey, he's with a different team.
He broke the DFS slate a few times in Seattle. Right.
And he's got a great offensive line here in Philadelphia, so I think he'll shine a little bit brighter. That was my reasoning.
I don't know if the listeners who are listening are even listening. Is there listeners? There's 7 people watching currently. It's been up and down. But in our Discord, I don't know if you plan on joining us, but we do a show at 10:30 in the morning Eastern on where are you at? Are you Eastern?
Me? No, I'm Central. I'm in Chicago.
Okay, that's not bad. Oh, you're in Chicago, so I can come say hi to you next time I come.
I'm actually in Arlington Heights, but yeah.
I love it. Well, I sell beer in Chicago, so I'll see you down there one of these days.
Right on. All right.
Anyways,
good.
Doc and I do a 10:30 in the morning Eastern on Sunday morning, and we answer everybody's live start-sit questions, and he likes to break down those questions into DFS as well. You are very welcome to join us.
All right.
It'd be fun. Be fun to have you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'm going to find you in Chicago. If you give me your number, you're going to get blown up. And if you don't hang out with me, you're going to hear it forever. Just ask Ted when I came to Manhattan and he didn't hang out with me.
You will hear.
Let's be real. I gave him 24 hours notice, and it was St. Patrick's Day in Manhattan.
Well, yeah.
So he gets a little bit of a pass.
That's a big expectation, isn't it?
It's a little bit of a pass. All right. We'll catch back up with you in a little bit. Thank you.
All right.
All right, Ted. I guess it's my pick. I should keep going, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you pick. I'm going to have a rant here. I have a bone to pick with Justin over on the edge there.
All right, let's bring him in here. Let's bring him in here while I pick. All right.
Justin, I needed an end in round 11, and I had 2 in my queue. And you took Njoku, and I was like, that's okay. Kincaid's still there. Both the next guys have tight ends. It's all fine. And then you took Kincaid, too.
I double tap tight end. I don't know. I'm just a fan of Kincaid and what he could be in that offense. Gabe Davis hasn't really, panned out, so to speak, although he's having a good camp from what reports are saying. But, Kincaid could be out there in the slot, and, they didn't bring him in to block, obviously. He's a first-round pick and, a gifted receiver. So I don't know. I mean, I the value was there on Njoku, and then I just wanted Kincaid.
Yeah, I wanted one of them, and I figured one would make it around the turn to me, but you didn't let it happen.
We could talk some trade after, maybe.
Excellent.
How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Draft a trade. Awful. Hate it. Hate it, Justin. Let's talk about your running back Gibson while we've got you here.
Hold on.
Was that
first off?
Oh, there you go. I mean, it was a given, right? There you go.
Exactly.
Let's talk about Gibson here. I kind of like him. I have been getting him at my running back 5 in best ball regularly, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm on the clock here, but let me.
You are.
Hopefully, I can multitask here.
All right, no, I'll let you go take your picks. We'll come back.
No, I do want to comment on Gibson. Obviously,
I don't want to hear it anymore. I've changed my mind. All right, he's gone. All right, I'll get back to him. We'll let him pick though. We're gonna make Jay talk with us. I see he's munching on some munchies there, but I'm gonna bring him in anyways. All right, Jay, you got a couple of minutes to come in. You got kind of a sleeper tight end for me, Okonkwo. I think he showed some flash last year, and he's going as like tight end like 14 in all the drafts.
Very interesting. And Ted, I got to tell you, if Kincaid would have gotten past him, it wouldn't have made it to you regardless. I was taking him there anyway. So he just broke your heart a couple of picks before that. But I ended up taking Richardson there. I don't really have a lot of shares of Richardson at all, and I thought it was a good spot to take him just in case. I'm intrigued by the range of outcomes that Richardson has, and if he does happen to hit, I do want to have a share or two of him. So I was happy to get him there, and then picking up a second tight end. I was really hoping Kincaid was going to slide to me there. I was actually the last person to fill out their second to get their RB2, and I ended up having to take Pirine at 10-10 and slot him in there. That's not. It's already, I know, guys, it's going to be the one pick that I look back on because I took Burks. I love the upside of Burks. That was definitely an upside pick. But then Charbonnet going the pick after that to Ted, that's who I would have taken otherwise. And that would have been, Charbonnet would have been an RB2 that I probably could have lived with. But here we are, P. Ryan there at RB2 and just trying to figure something out.
Well, we know that Jay is going to fill the rest of his team with running backs now. So if anybody around him thinks they're getting one, it ain't happening.
We'll see.
I'll let you know how that goes, right?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. I'll let you prepare for your pick here. All right, Ted. I can't believe I'm going to bring him back in. I'm going to bring him back in. You ready, Justin?
He was wearing the jersey. We have to.
All right. We'll let you back in. First of all, how dare you take Kenneth Gainwell for me before he came back around? I mean, it's not like I just talked about him over and over again and then chose to pass him up for Jonathan Mingo.
He's reportedly in the lead. I mean, to lead that Philly backfield.
I know, you heard it right here at drroto.com from the mouth of Johnny Danger at Tipsy Picks DFS.
Hey, I mean, he's part of that Memphis lineage of backs, like Pollard, Gibson. Obviously, Darrell Henderson wasn't as good, but Gainwell's kind of mixed in the middle of all those guys. Pretty good there.
Yep. I'll be honest. What I really wanted was to take Thielen, and I panicked because I felt my running back room needed more help, and I took him. Elliott, but I really should have picked Gainwell after because I talked him up and I knew somebody would jump on it. It was my bad. Kendre Miller, can he hold on at all to value when Kamara comes back?
Well, I mean, the hope is that he hits the ground running. If he could hit the ground running, he'll be able to sustain a role there. But it might be tough. I was kind of torn in between some of the other rookies there. There's a couple other rookies still left, but he looks good. I mean, I like the fact that he came back from that knee injury so quickly. I mean, he got right back out there. Looked good last night. Caught a pass on a route that's usually designed for Kamara, little fly route there, and he caught a nice pass and scored a touchdown the play after. So I know that's preseason, but He looked good.
Well, I dig it. Well,
and then Gibson, talking about Gibson, obviously, we've got two defined roles there with B-Rob, the early down grinder, and Gibby the pass catcher, and bringing in the OC from Kansas City there. He's going to look to put Gibby in that Jerick McKinnon role, and that's what Gibson does the best. So, former college wide receiver. And it wasn't long ago, that we thought of Gibson as, such a top, one of the top 24 running backs in fantasy. And, the talent's there. I feel like he's been misused. And, the sky's the limit here,
Well, you got a guy that's going to he's going to touch the ball.
In PPR, yep. So
I dig it. Well, thank you, sir. We'll get back to you in a bit. Right. I want to get to Coach White, but I'm going to let him make his pick first. So we'll get there. Let's talk to Heat Override. I really regret clicking on the name, but let's talk to him for a minute.
Oh,
Heat, you're so excited over there. Heat, why are you so excited?
yeah, I got Rice, bro. How you let Rice go that long with Kadarius or broke my toady on the field? And Rice is getting it. Nobody cares about Sky Moore. The Chiefs don't care. They throw the ball. It's either Kelsey, it's going to be Rice. And we all watch the things. I can't believe I got him. Oh, I'm on the clock again.
Good luck, brother.
Oh, better than caffeine.
He's not on the clock though. I thought he was on the clock. He's not.
Oh.
All right, Coach. Is he drafting like 4 drafts right now, Ted? What do you think?
Who?
He.
Maybe. Maybe he's on the clock somewhere else.
You think he's drafting like four drafts right now? I've done that before. Tried to draft some multiple stuff, but it ain't working. I'm gonna let's see. Did Coach make his pick yet? Come on, Coach. I gotta talk to you. Come on, there you go. All right, Coach, bringing in the Patriots. I was gonna talk to you before he went and picked Rice and say, hey, we got a couple of new rookies getting picked in the last 2 rounds. I of course took Jonathan Mingo, which if you stay tuned to drroto.com, you'll catch a little piece by Coach White talking about him. We had Hyatt that you took, who I really enjoy. And honestly, if Tua would have been picked before me, I probably would have waited and gone a different direction and probably filled up some more wide receivers, and Hyatt's on my list. And then you've got Rice. How do you feel about these 3 guys? Did they go in appropriate spots?
Yeah, they did. It's kind of those roster fillers that, this is a pretty short bench in this league. And they get 5 people. So, there's one player I left off, and I'm kind of interested to see if anybody ends up taking him. If there's a preseason injury, I know where I'm going to go, who I'm going to pick up first, and I'm not going to say his name until I know.
You can tell Ted and I. It's safe with us. It's safe with us. It's just us 3.
But I mean, Hyatt is just, I'm a Tennessee fan, so I love the kid and what he did for us last season. He showed out in the preseason game. He's supposedly having great camp, which doesn't surprise me. His speed is unmatched. I just, I don't know if there's room in that wide receiver room right now for him. I mean, it's not a great room, but Daniel Jones kind of, I think he would slot in where Isaiah Hodgins is. But he kind of showed out towards the end of the season last year, so maybe they got a really good rapport. But if Hyatt finds his way on the field, he's a playmaker, man. And I think in the late rounds, he's like a person I would love to take in best ball drafts.
I was just going to say, I just finished one best ball draft earlier today, and it was Jones, Barkley, Waller, Hyatt. How many thousands of dollars am I winning?
All of them, all of the thousands.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, and then Rashee Rice, I mean, he kind of showed what he did in college. He grabbed 8 of 9 balls in his last preseason game. He was a target hog and just kind of brings in everything that comes his way, finds small separation and just latches on to it when he gets into his zone. I love his game, and I still don't like Sky Moore, so From whatever Heat said, I couldn't hear much, but I think he was bashing Sky Moore and hyping up Raji Rice. So I don't think he was wrong there, and he's been wrong a lot tonight. So
I'll throwing shade. Rice was next on my list, and at the last minute, I decided that I needed to take another run at running back, and I took CEH. I know it's ugly. I know it's gross. I know he went undrafted in a lot of drafts. But I don't have a strong running back core, so I thought I got to take a few extra guys with that, and I'm gonna burn and turn the bottom of my bench as I always do. So I'm not too worried about after my starters are there. But I appreciate it.
So I got one question for you guys. Why is Deontay Foreman falling? He's a starting running back for the Bears. I mean, I know the Bears aren't a great offense, but they're gonna be in the red zone. How did I get him at almost 12th round?
All right, good question. Ted, answer the question.
Because it's Khalil Herbert season, clearly.
Who's on Ted's team? So I had to let him answer that. I think because they just think that Fields is going to run the ball or short pass in the red zone. I don't know. The Bears suck, and we're moving on.
Fair enough.
All right. I've been harsh just cutting people off tonight, Ted.
I have to know if he actually thinks Foreman is the starter, making me feel bad about my Herbert pick.
Well, we'll get back to him at the end here. We're going to let everybody finish up their last picks. So the last thing we're going to do, thank everybody, please, for coming. Ted, thank them.
Thank them. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you. Because I said that poorly, and I said thank everyone for coming. So thank you, Ted, for thanking everyone for coming. I really appreciate it. This is really fun. This is the third year of drroto.com. Everybody should go check it out if you haven't yet. If you're still listening at this point and you're not a subscriber, what the hell is wrong with you? Use promo code, was it DOC, for 10% off?
Yes, sir.
Lock and load. Even if you just want the draft cheat sheet that I used tonight poorly, and access to the Discord, it's what, $18 a month minus 10%, $16 a month, somewhere in that range. It is a steal. You took Brown. Did you take Brown?
I did take Brown.
I promise
the draft
my guy
will give better results than Danger's team. Don't look at Danger's team and think
did you just draft cheat and pick no defense and kicker to just pick somebody to dump later?
Yeah, Sleeper doesn't make you pick a defense and kicker.
It doesn't.
So
it really doesn't.
Why would I ever do that?
It really doesn't. I took a defense because I wanted the Saints, but I wasn't going to take a kicker.
That's fair.
So,
yeah. So I figure pick the handcuff running back, and maybe Mixon gets suspended. Maybe Mixon gets hurt.
I like it.
Dump him for a kicker before week 1.
I like it. Who am I? Am I taking Nico Collins? Is he going to be number 1 in Houston?
Yeah, maybe. Collins was my other option if I didn't take Brown.
Right? Is he going to be number 1 in Houston? Is anybody going to care about a Houston game? I have 2 Houston players on my team. What am I doing?
You're the only person who's going to care about Houston games.
Am I the only one with Houston players on the team? I think.
Oh, you might be. Unless did Schultz go? Schultz went. So
Did he? Are you sure?
Man has Schultz.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, let's start wrapping up, shall we? Let's go over to was it Justin took the first pick. We'll start with him and we'll work down. Complaints about your team. Anything you don't like, Justin? Come on, be real.
Probably would like to be a little bit better wide receiver too, honestly. Yeah, I mean, other than that, kind of took what the fell on the board, took what the board gave me.
Oh, what happened there? Look at the screen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some risk involved with Jacobs and Taylor. I mean, that's kind of why they fell there. So I got, with Hall, I mean, I do have some risk. I took on a lot of risk on this team. So, we need some of those situations to pan out. I mean, sounds like Jacobs is, getting back to
Hold on 1 second, Justin. Hey, Replay Real, if you are still here, please stick around for a minute. I'm going to have your question answered. All right, go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, no, just, looks like Jacobs will get back. But, I mean, that situation has obviously been, very volatile there. And then Taylor, we don't know what's going to happen with him. And then Hall's coming off an ACL. So I did take on some risk. So it's kind of like hoping some of those situations pan out. I think they will because these guys got to play if they want to get paid, so.
No, it's a true story.
And even Burrow with the calf injury coming back. So, geez. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully these guys will get healthy and get on the field.
All right, I got no real complaints for your team. One last question. Make it brief, and we'll get you out of here because the draft just ended, and I want to run through the people here real quick. Who's Jonathan Taylor playing for this year?
I think he is going to be traded based on what I heard today. You know, his agent is already contacting, potential suitors. So they're going to come back to the Colts and say, we have interest from, various teams. And, obviously
does he go to Miami and win me about $1,000 on my $40 bet?
Well, I mean, it seems to be like an arms race in the AFC East to try to acquire talent here. So, Miami was shut out on getting Dalvin, and then I think they had other backs in as well. So,
replay reel says he's going to the Bears. That would crush you, Ted.
Not my Khalil Herbert.
I mean, the asking price is like a first-round pick right now. They're not going to get that because, McCaffrey didn't even demand that.
No.
So they're going to have to accept less. But it doesn't seem like, the relationship with Jim Irsay is going to be reconciled here.
Yeah, he holds grudges. He's a grudge holder.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Justin. Good luck in your first year with your number 1 overall pick, sir.
Looking forward to it. Fun group. Had a lot of fun here, and it was a wild, crazy draft, taking some different turns here, and look forward to playing with you guys and having a great season.
All right, cheers, buddy. Ted, we will break down Bryce's here in a minute. We'll skip you and I for now, and we will go over to Jay. And we'll talk about the number 3 pick. How you feeling, buddy?
All right, well, as I mentioned earlier, last person to get RB2, waiting all the way to the 10th round. So that's not feeling super duper great about that. But
I'll trade you Zeke Elliott for Jahan Dotson right now.
See, I was told not to leave my draft without Dotson. And
I'm a big fan of Dotson.
And I made that happen, So again, even though I'd already he's wide receiver 5 for me. So I guess that's what happens when Dobbins is your only running back until the 10th round.
Look,
but
Zeke would slide right in there. So nice for you. Just think about it. Think about it. Hit me up later.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk, Danger. But feeling really good about the top of my team for sure. And then again, Mostert's going to get touches, took a little bit of floor there. I know that he's going to at least get something if I have to put him in a pinch.
I actually think he's a steal in the 10th round. I mean, I don't want him as my RB3. I ain't going to lie, Jay. Yeah. But he's a steal in the 10th round. And if they don't pick up a guy like Taylor or, something, he's got a chance to lead that backfield. And that's a 10th round or 13th round? 13th
round, right. So again, had to get another running back there and took him 13 and then filled out the rest of the roster. I normally do what Ted did in terms of not taking the kicker or defense if you don't have to. But today I wanted to take the Kansas City kicker, just get a kicker on, and then I do like the Bengals defense in that AFC North. So
I never draft a kicker ever unless I'm forced to, just because. But
I get it. Yeah.
Why not? No, it's a good one to have. I appreciate you, sir. Yeah. Good luck in the league.
Good draft, everybody. We'll see you later.
See ya. Coach White took off, but we heard quite a bit from him, so that's okay. I ain't going to Heat next because he's going to talk for the rest of the night. I'll get to you, buddy. Get to you. So we're gonna go over to where Jeremy goes. He's still here. Did he take off on us? He's there. Taco Corp. There we go. We're going right down the list here. I really liked the first 3 picks. Then you went way off the rail 2 out of the next 3. I don't know what you're doing there, but you're fine. So Pitts, you think this is the year, huh?
I think it's the year. I've been drafting a lot of him this year. Between him and London, I probably have a split share of those on most of my teams. I don't like to draft them together, obviously, but I get a lot of one or the other, especially in my underdog drafts. So I like him.
I like it indeed. How you feeling about the team overall? Any picks that you were a little upset you missed?
Yeah, after starting with my first 3 running backs, then it got a little weak with getting Damian Harris, but then as my 4. But then I ended up with Spears. I like Tajay Spears a lot this year. He showed a lot in the preseason. I know a lot of people were off him because he doesn't have an ACL in the one knee, so might hurt his dynasty value. But I like him in redraft this year a lot, and I think he's shown a lot of juice in the preseason. And I don't trust Derrick Henry this year, staying healthy for the whole season at least. So I like him a lot to get a lot of touches, especially later in the season.
Ted, what do you like? Anything standing out here? I want to get your opinion on Pickens. I think that he has the opportunity to be the number one there this year. What do you think, Ted?
Well, seeing as I drafted Deontay Johnson, I think I'm obligated to be a Pickens hater. But no, I think Pickens there is a good pick. The beef with Pickens has always been he's a highlight guy who can't run routes, but the whispers out of camp are he's been running routes all of a sudden. And so if he adds that to his incredible catch ability, then watch out for my Deontay shares, I guess. So
I don't know if you've noticed the theme of the night is throw your opinion on guys that are going against your team. It's been fun.
I have noticed.
It's been enjoyable.
I was surprised I didn't get one for the Raheem Mostert because I went right after him and took Jeff Wilson.
No, that's true. We'll get to our teams here. It's fine. It's all good. Well, thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate it, and good luck to you, sir.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Cheers. All right. Over to Hunting Millions.
What's
All
going
right. Another couple of minutes. Oh, man. I like it. I like it. I like the way it ended. I like more. I have talked to Ted at length about how I feel the Arizona offense is underrated.
Agreed, and I think Moore is underrated.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I'm quite funny at times. Carolina's backfield. We don't. What's the deal with Hubbard? Do you not like Sanders? Or are you just taking a stab at the last round?
I don't like Sanders. He had a much better offensive line in Philadelphia, and he couldn't do anything there. I thought Chuba Hubbard did decent last year after McCaffrey left, and I think he'll try to up his game to prove himself against Sanders. And he's got a little bit more passing ability than Sanders, I think, personally. So
no, I don't mind it at all. I keep talking about best ball because I've done 52 drafts, but that has, not as much as some of the other ones, but I have recently come on board with the Carolina stack. So I've been doing some. Jonathan Mingo is Coach White's rookie pick of the year. He talked me into that, so I've had to put him in there. Both he and Doc think Bryce Young is maybe the real deal. So I kind of like the Carolina. I kind of like the Carolina feel. Well, I really appreciate your perspective tonight. I really freaking love Addison. I love it.
Yeah, I'm glad I got him.
I'm a big Addison fan. Coach White thinks he's got a chance to go 1,000 yards, 80 catches, 1,000 yards.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, I like it. Well, I appreciate it. Yet another newcomer to the Dr. Roto Staff League, and good luck to you. And we'll see you Sunday mornings, hopefully in the Discord.
Sounds good. You guys have a good night.
All right, thank you. All right, who we got next here? All right. Do we have only one left? Oh wait, we still have Heat 2. Okay, we're gonna wait for Harry. I'm gonna let Kickman go before I let Heat come on because Kickman looks like he's tired and he needs to go to bed.
No, I'm all good actually. I was just kind of when Addison got picked, that threw my draft a little bit because I had Pitts lined up and then Addison went right before me, and then I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I was like, okay, the next best guy out there is a quarterback, which I already have, but you can never have enough really good quarterbacks. And I found
which
out
I agree with, but why do you only have one?
I got two.
But I see one really good quarterback.
Well, the guy that I drafted in the second round.
Yeah.
That guy's
Prescott
he's going to make
thrown
your guy really
double
good.
digits more interceptions during preseason than he has touchdowns.
Who?
Prescott. He's terrible.
Oh, come on. The preseason doesn't mean anything. I mean, come on.
Okay,
Jeez.
I'm high on Lamb, so I'll leave him alone.
Yeah, no, but you obviously think Mahomes is going to be awesome because you drafted Kelsey.
Yeah, because I wanted to bring it back with Mahomes and play the Cam, the Cam strategy.
If Kelsey's worth the number 5 pick overall, Mahomes is going to have a really good season.
It's a true story. I wish you wouldn't have picked up on that. But how you feeling about your team, buddy? How you feeling about it?
Yeah,
How
I
you feeling
actually
about it?
feel pretty darn good about it. You guys were kind of picking on my running backs, but I think Pacheco is gonna be a bomb this year. McKinnon's at best a third down running back. I mean, I don't know what you guys are talking about with McKinnon being.
Oh, I don't like.
And
McKinnon
then
either.
I also have Tony again from Kansas City, and he's going to get just as many balls as anybody else there. So I'm thinking Kansas City wins the Super Bowl again this year, and then I have a really
put
good
together
season.
like a Kansas City, Minnesota best ball team here.
I got a little bit of everything there, and Dalvin Cook, who knows? He could just all of a sudden find some new life in New York. I mean, their offensive line seems to be a little bit better than the Vikings offensive line, so it makes it a little easier to run behind.
Yeah. I like Cook. I feel like he's got something to prove this year.
Yeah. So that's,
I still think he's 1,000-yard carrier as long as, he's getting the ball. They love Breece Hall. Michael Carter's no slouch. So there's a lot to compete with there where he didn't really have that in Minnesota, but I still think he's capable of, realistically, I think you're looking at 750, 800 yards and you're looking at, goal line touchdowns. He could pay off for you.
And to be honest with you, I was stunned that Cooper Kupp fell to me at number 9.
I'm going to be honest with you. He's on my don't draft list.
That's okay. I'll take him at number 9.
Ted loves my hatred of the first round.
But I mean, I have a tougher time at taking him at 5, but at number 9, Cooper Kupp, I mean, geez, how could I not take him? I
could tell you why. He's had one good year.
Well,
it was a really good year, though.
It was a historic year, but if you take that year and just dumb it down to his average, he's like wide receiver 15.
Well, let me tell you something.
18. He's not wide receiver 2.
The guy that you're waiting to talk to,
I know,
he's just sitting back there and he's freaking out.
I just love watching his skin get like brighter red and brighter red.
He has Cooper Kupp in his top 5 wide receivers of all time.
He's so wrong. It's fine. Yeah.
Top
Cooper
5
Kupp's
seasons. In there. And so is Isaac Bruce. And I'm like, oh my God.
Look, 2021,
these guys aren't
bro,
even.
Like 2021 was an all-time, maybe top 5 season, right? It was amazing.
But not all-time of all time. I mean, sorry, I mean, he didn't have Chris Carter in there. I mean, geez, come on, Heat. So, so I actually feel pretty good about my team. So we'll see how it goes.
Right. Replay had a question, and he wanted Coach White to talk about Dobbs, and I'm sorry, Replay, but Coach White left, so I can't help you with that. But Replay, do me a favor, look through this board and pick who's winning and who's taken last. I want to see that in the chat. All right, Kickman, I love you, buddy. It was great meeting
guys.
you. I'll be
nice
back
job tonight, guys.
I'll see you. We should get together with Alicia. It'll be fun.
That'd be fun.
That'd be great. And we're going to let Heat take.
I'm going to listen to Heat.
Here. All right, good. Somebody should.
Somebody needs to make sense of this nonsense right here. So, Cooper Kupp and Isaac Bruce are in my top 5 all time because I'm a Rams fan.
Right. So that's the top 5 Rams of all time, right?
Well, no. There was other people on that. Like Jerry Rice, hated him. But I loved his game. I loved his intensity. I loved that. But Cooper Kupp, man, he touched my heart. And Isaac Bruce, I was at a Super Bowl party, and I was like, they just need to palm it to Bruce. Like, I knew the Rams playbook. And I was like, they haven't shot that shot the whole game. And when they shot that shot, and Bruce caught that touchdown and made that move, he's top 5 for me. As a top 5 on like a whole, as like a whole Mount Rushmore.
You see that on the screen there, buddy? Replay reel is right. It was CD, Bijan, or Barkley. Well, not Bijan. You know me.
No. And the reason, are you talking about my Nick Chubb?
No, I'm talking about instead of Cooper Kupp. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, at that point you could take that because Cooper Kupp would have slipped. And what happened last year with the Rams definitely played in. But, man, we want to talk about Kick taking some stuff on this. He went in. I definitely went in on all running backs. because this theory does exist. You guys know that, right? Like, if you have a lot of running backs, like I do right now, I have Chubb, Harris, Swift, Connor, and that's all I need. It doesn't matter who I plug in after that because who I'm going to plug in after that is going to be the wide receivers. The wide receivers are, I can't believe you guys let Rice slip to me like that, bro. Like, and so, like, he's going to be starting, and he's a big boy. He can go get that ball. Kadarius Toney could literally look at a sign, and it could blink him wrong, and he would have a season. And he would miss, like, the next 3 weeks. Like, literally, I have no trust in him. Like Jordan Reed, no trust in him. Why do we draft those players? People do. And if you want those 4, 3, 2 good games, whatever, if he stays healthy once, great. I took that role on Swift. But if Swift produces, then Swift is going to be all in. So that's what I like. I know you got some questions for my team, though. Come on.
Me? Questions? I would never question you, Heat. Never.
I mean, you let it.
Never. All right, look, I like Chubb and I like Harris because I wanted players who had the role. Now, that didn't work out for me because I waited too long. But I got two. I got 2 guys that got the role. I'm happy with that. We only need to start 2. It's fine. I disagree so hard with Swift. He's not staying healthy. He's not finishing as a top 15 to 20 running back. I'm not in on him, but I love James Conner. I love James Conner.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I can move in Pittman.
You're good. I got to admit, here you go. You want it? You want to hear it from me? You want it? I don't know that Derek Carr is an upgrade over the quarterback situation last year for Olave. I worry about Pittman especially if you take Taylor off of that team with a rookie quarterback. I like Sutton. I like Thielen. They're fine. I wanted them as, wide receivers 4 and 5. Rashee Rice, I actually love. I should have taken him instead of CEH, but I felt like I needed more backup running back than I needed another wide receiver. But you're right. I should have taken him. I probably should have taken him over Mingo the round before that, but it's fine. Everything's fine, Heat. Yep. I never draft well in these things because I can't build my queue, and I get too caught up watching you in the bottom corner when nobody else can see you, and it makes me laugh, and I'm not paying any attention to what's going on.
Draft strategy. My last podcast. Draft strategy. You can't watch me, man.
All right. Well, we only had two votes here, everyone, from the listeners. We have 2 votes, and it's for each for Coach Al White to win this league back-to-back years. How do you feel about that?
I like it. I can't believe you all let him get Bijan at 2.3. I think, like I said, I was considering him at 1.4. So the Bijan at 2.3 is a great start to his draft, and then from there, he hardly went wrong. I don't know about Javonte, just people coming off injury. You never really want to see that, but the rest of his draft.
Dude, the value he got where he's going, though. I mean, the guy literally was, being drafted where we drafted, Pollard and Jacobs last year.
But he wasn't, even when he was healthy, he wasn't that good. Melvin Gordon, they were splitting carries with super washed Melvin Gordon. Like, I just don't, they like him that much. Like, I think even if I don't trust him to be healthy, and I don't trust them to trust him to be healthy. Even when he was, they were splitting carries with Melvin Gordon. And even in his rookie year, everybody loves his rookie year. Him and Melvin had the same numbers on the same touches.
Oh my God. And this is why Royce Freeman was a thing, because the Broncos just don't care about like the lead back, which they tried to bill off. And then he got hurt in the year that he was supposed to like produce and perform, and he didn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, Replay Reel has voted Coach, Taco, Bryce for the top 3.
Oh, I'm breaking that.
Pete, I got plenty of wide receivers, my guy. I got plenty of wide receivers.
That's true.
Let's chat.
All right. TC is AC your brother?
No, it might be my dad, come to think of it, but it's not my brother.
Woo! Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Ted. Let's get to our teams, and I brought the rest of the people still hanging out in the background.
Yeah,
back
man,
into
you
this.
might as well.
So we haven't talked about our teams. I was really happy with Kelsey and Waddle. I've been on record saying that Waddle will outscore Hill this year. I really probably should have dug into running back. They can't see you. It's fine. My kid just came home. I really should have dug into running back before I took Metcalf, but I really like Metcalf. I took Pearson Madison because they were basically the last two guys on the board that, have the 3-down role, at least presumed to have the 3-down role. Godwin was clearly a panic pick. It's fine. Look, they don't have a good offensive line. They've got Baker, which is kind of funny. I wish you could see it, but I have the virtual background on. But I have a full size. You can't. It's hard to see, but I have a full size, feeling dangerous Baker Mayfield flag behind me. By the way, from the Browns. I know that a few of you might get a kick out of that, but he still has Godwin and he still has Evans to throw to. So, watching where they drop in best ball for both those guys is kind of gross to me because they're full top talented wide receivers. And I think they're going to struggle running the ball. I'm not a White fan, and I think they're going to have to throw the ball. But other than that, man, it kind of fell off the rails for me. I love Tua. Tua was my guy. I wanted to pair him up with Waddle. That's totally fine. I'm taking chances on everybody else on that roster, but I'm the guy that'll have 72 roster moves by the end of the year. So my entire bench will clear. So I don't know. It's fine. I didn't do a great draft. How about you, Ted? How you feel?
I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling good. I noticed I'm playing you week 1, so that's one win in the bag. Great way to start the season. But other than that, I definitely, it never feels good in week 1 when you don't draft a lot of running backs and you look at your lineup and it's got Khalil Herbert in it. But I'm hoping by the end of the season, somebody gets hurt in front of one of these 6 guys I took near the end and I can plug one of them in and trust them. So I think my team will hopefully get stronger as the season goes on. I really like my receivers, obviously. When you take that many of them, I would sure hope that I really like my receivers.
Sure. And I probably should have pointed that out at some point, and I did put it in the comments, but we are a 3 wide receiver starting league with the flex. So you can go 4 wide receivers. So this league especially will probably, should have gone even a little bit more wide receiver heavy over running back, but it is what it is. So
you can go 4 running backs as well too.
All right, who wants to go ahead? You can't go 4 running backs, only 2 running backs and 1 flex. You can only play 3 running backs. Heat.
Dallas Goedert.
I think you might be right. It's 2 running backs, 2 flex.
Is it 2 flex? Did I put 2 flexes in there?
Yes.
What is wrong with me? I don't even know the rules to my own league. All right, guys. Before we get out of here, who wants to break down Cam's team since he didn't get a chance to? Then we'll talk about Chris Kennedy's team, and then we'll talk about Bryce's team, and then we'll get out of here. Let's start with Cam's. Somebody go. All right, I'll pick one. Jay, pick number 12. What do you think?
Who's Cam?
Yeah, I like Herbert there in the 3rd. It's pretty solid. Yeah, I like Ingram from me. I think I'm expecting a big season out of him at tight end there at 7.12. I like Boyd's floor. Johnson's really intriguing there out in LA. So yeah, strong running back room there for Cam. Adams at 2.1. I don't know. I might have gone Bijan there and then gotten another wide receiver.
What are you talking about? You think Jimmy Garoppolo can't throw the ball long? I tried to get through that statement without laughing.
Yeah. But other than that, not too shabby there for our guy Cam.
Can I talk about my favorite pick of the draft? And it's his, and it's Mixon in round 4. Dude was like a top 12 pick last year. What's different? Somebody's noise just went crazy. I don't know what it was. Where'd that go? I think it was Heat. There it goes. It was Heat's thing got all messy. So you gone, Heat.
It was dying.
We'll bring you back. There we go. Joe Mixon, what's the deal? Why is he going 4th round? I don't get it. Is he less healthy than last year? Is that team less explosive than last year? Is there any issue that Joe Mixon should go from a 1st round pick. He went 10 to 12 last year to pick 4-1. What gives? And why didn't I take him? That's my question.
He scored a quarter of his points in one game. That's not really what you're looking for.
No, but I don't think he deserved to go round 4. I mean, I want him over Gibbs. I want him, maybe appropriately. But
there's still somewhere he gets
suspended. Okay. Let me throw this out there real quick. What players can produce any more than at least 2 to 3 big games that can win a week for you? That's really what I've always based everything on. And that's why I base IDP on, because literally Aaron Donald could score 30 points 1 week and he could score 0 for 2 weeks after that.
Yeah.
And that's what the thing is. So what can that player, what week, it doesn't even matter what week, can that player produce 3 weeks that he can win those 3 games for you? That's what I always do.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mixon. I'm Henry for me wouldn't have been a first round pick, but I mean he could have taken him 2-1, and I guess I would have felt better about that. But he certainly has all the talent to be there. Any more comments on Cam before we move directly to pick number 11 and look at Chris Kennedy? Good. Jay, you are muted for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I did mute. I was just thinking though, like again, if you take Bijan at 112 and then Henry at 2.1, you're not probably mad about that. I wouldn't think, but
no.
But it's Mixon at 4 though, 4.1. That is, it's quite a steal, and it makes taking Adams there at 2.1. Mixon being there at 4-point run, it really aligned for him well.
Really helps that. And if Kamara comes off of his suspension and has any life left in him, that's a pretty killer 3 running backs there. So I ain't mad at it all. Here's the deal: we got to be careful what we say when the show's over and we're just breaking down the people who aren't here, because we went on a rampage. I think it was me and Sam hosted year 1 about how bad Cam's draft was and how much we hated it, and then he won the whole league.
That's because Lamar Jackson was hurt.
You're right.
I lost that championship. I had to put Ben Roethlisberger putting 6 points a week in a 2-week matchup in that, and he barely beat me. He wouldn't have beat me if I had Lamar at but I didn't, and he beat me, so he deserves that. But that's on Lamar.
Yeah. All right, well, let's keep talking. Let's move over to Chris, Kennedy's team, who sadly couldn't host with us because I love that guy. He went wide receiver straight down, and I'm not going to lie, I'm looking through the list here, and he's got that best starting 3 wide receivers and taking CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, and Keenan Allen, assuming Keenan Allen isn't in a stretcher by the end of the year. It's really nice. I like it. I like TJ Hawkinson. I like that he waited all the way to Geno Smith. If I didn't have Tua staring me at the face, my next pick would have been not next pick, but my next quarterback target would have been Geno Smith. So I like what he did here. I have to say, looking further down his wide receivers, I don't believe in Beckham. And I don't believe that Williams wants to actually play football. I think he wants to be an Instagram star. What do you think, Kickman? You're nodding your head.
I think my receivers are just as good as those top 3 receivers. There's enough iffies in Keenan Allen, and Tony could be, I know Heat's all about this, some Rice guy that he got somewhere down here in the late end of the draft. But, Tony last year at the end of the season was the guy. So, and, if he can, he's in a good organization where, you kind of want to do the right thing there. So I think my 3 receivers are just as good as those 3 receivers. And I think his running backs are horrible.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm with you here. Replay Reel just said kind of the same thing. He said the wrong one. Instead of Walker Sanders, looking at, what did he say? Williams and White. I agree with him. I'm not a huge fan of White, but I'm also not a big fan of Sanders. But I'm a huge fan of Walker. I just think he's got a tough road to be as relevant as we need him to be taken as your RB1.
I agree with that too. That's why at that point I went with Harris.
Yeah. So, but I like JSN. I think that's a nice pick. I actually kind of like Juju Smith-Schuster too. You know, he's a few years removed of being the top 5 wide receiver. You know, I think that I wish he would have stayed with Kansas City and shown a little bit more heart there. But I think that I also think that Juju wants to be the star, and that was never going to be the thing in Kansas City. So I'm sure he wanted, as soon as he was in the top 5 receiver in the league, he wanted out because he wants to go somewhere where it's him. Maybe that's New England. I have a lot of him in best ball because he falls super, super late. So, all right, let's move on. Who else wasn't here? Who was it? Just Bryce, right? All right, so let's move over to the number 2 pick. Of course, you know, CMC. Ted, we love him. We love CMC. You legit can make an argument for CMC to be, you know, more than Jefferson. I just like when you take CMC first, it's really hard to pull together a good receiving crew down the line. I think he did pretty well with Higgins and Ridley. I wasn't high on Ridley at all. I actually thought Kirk would outplay him until they started releasing some camp footage of how tight Ridley was looking. I wish they'd show some of that for Michael Thomas. That would be helpful.
If they had it, they'd show it.
Yeah, but I really like it. I mean, Aaron Jones, we talked about it earlier, Ted. We like him. If he's healthy, he's a stud. He can't stay on the field. That's his problem. Waller is tearing apart preseason in New York. He's really making an impact there. I like it a lot. Ayuk showed some really good signs with Purdy in charge. Purdy and Kittle got a lot of targets. He showed some love. We love him. Cook, man. I mean, Doc, I asked Doc what he thought about James Cook being an RB3 on teams, and he wrote in all caps back to me, love it. So, you know, that's good. Other than that, I'm going to go down here and look. Zay Flowers, I'm not a big fan of this receiving core in Baltimore. You'll hear that over and over again. Jamal Williams is fine in New Orleans until Kamara comes back. But you know, the rest of the team, give or take, I like his quarterbacks. What do you think, Jay?
Danger. This is the Waller. I love Waller. I love the upside. They're gonna pepper him. I don't know if he's gonna play more than 12 games. Like the health worries me with Waller a little bit. So I feel like I love taking him at 5.2, but I feel like then you got to look at in that 9th, 10th round, look for somebody that you can use just in case, like an Njoku or a Kincaid there at 10.11. I feel like would have been a great safety net for Waller. But that's the only part that bothers me about taking Waller that early is that there wasn't that something if in case of fire pull here sort of a thing that I would have liked to see. But yeah, I do love Waller a lot.
I like it. Kickman, talk to me about pairing up Daniel Jones and Darren Waller.
Let me talk to you.
Well, I'm not a Giants fan.
That's Doc. That's Doc.
I'm just, you know what? And I've had Darren Waller in the past. Darren Waller used to be like my favorite tight end, and then he had those couple of years of injuries where and then he was like the main guy, and they just double teamed him every single time. So he was getting banged up and trying to get open, and they would try to, Carr kept trying to force the ball to him, and they would.
And that's a good point because he is showing off in preseason, right? But he's playing against 2s and 3s. So do they double team him in New York? Can they do that with a mobile quarterback in Barkley? Can they do to him what they did in the Vegas? Because I don't think they can. Because you got to watch Barkley, you got to watch Jones.
No, I agree with that. No, I totally agree with that. Because Barkley is way better than Well, they did have Jacobs there, and
they did, but Jacobs really was a bruiser. Barkley can catch the ball anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Jones is a way better quarterback than Carr anyway.
Right.
So I mean, the thing with Waller, if they are going to double team him in the red zone, then is Bellinger somebody that you have to look at as a tight end that's at least it's going to be rosterable. I feel like he's somebody that might not be on a lot of teams in week 1 or 2, but is going to get a couple of catches in the red zone and see some targets because of the attention the teams are going to have to pay to Waller. So it's going to be really tricky there. He's a freak athlete. Obviously, he's 30. Waller is now, so that you're starting to creep up a little bit. But the size and strength, you can't teach that, as they say.
I want to say you pretty much just described why drafting Saquon Barkley is important. because Waller does bring that, and Waller is stirring it up. So Waller always did that. I had Waller and Jacobs when they both. Well, I mean Jacobs grew up last year, but I had Waller and Jacobs on a championship team 2 years ago, and it worked out well for me because I knew when the Raiders made it to that red zone that they were going to get one of those guys or both of those guys retarded and a touchdown or two or three. It worked out well. So, I mean, that's what I thought.
All right, guys, we crossed over the 2-hour mark, so I think that we should get out of here. Ted, besides your team, pick the winner.
I hate to jump on the bandwagon here, but I'm gonna have to go with Coach White. I really think Bijan in the second it's just so hard to overlook that. I don't, his receivers after that, I don't know about how, but yeah, I think I'll have to jump on the Coach White bandwagon.
I don't know. Barkley and Bijan is a sick combo. It really is. It's good. All right, Kickman, besides your team, pick a winner.
I liked number 9, Kickman.
No, I said besides Kickman. You can't pick your own. Come on now. Who you playing in the championship? That's
actually, I like Team 3.
Team 3, Eater of Worlds.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And again, like I feel like you don't have to. Again, the running back stuff is going to be an issue. Maybe we'll see. There's guys that have defined roles, but I love how it's stacked up quite a bit. I like Jeremy's team a lot though. I really do. I like Judy a ton, and Pitts. It's got to be. Every year I keep telling me, like, I feel like that I'm.
Oh man,
I wish I knew how to quit you, and that's how I feel about Kyle Pitts. Man. but I like Jeremy's team a lot.
I dig it. All right, who you got? But who's playing you in the championship?
Oh man, dude, this is hard. This is really hard. But you know what? I've got to say, it might just be. It might be the Browns dog because Justin Jefferson, Jacobs, and Taylor, if Taylor goes to the right team, like the Rams, and McVay wants to run him like Gurley, then if he runs him like Gurley, he will be a showstopper. But the fact that he got Brees Hall was cooked, Brees Hall is the beast there. Burrow is there. This is why you have number 1 pick. Also, when he came back around, I was targeting both McLaurin and Lockett, which at that point, of course, I had taken Connor because Connor was just, that eerie elite, but also just that back on a crappy team that's going to produce. But also coming back and grabbing Brandon Cooks as well, too. Because everybody forgets, man, CeeDee Lamb has been goddamn awesome. But what if he gets a tweak and misses half that year and Dak's trying to chuck that ball down the field? It's going to be Cooks all day. The Gibson follow-up, the double tight end, I probably wouldn't have did the double tight end once you got Njoku, but he loves Kincaid, so all in on that as well. I mean, you could have Thielen. But to come back and try to cherry-pick me with Kenneth Gainwell and then go with Miller, Johnson, and Ravens defense, I mean, up front, if everybody's draft strategy actually exists well and Jefferson works out and Bijan takes that over, he's got a good team. But other than that, yeah, he should be playing me in the championship because I got the team.
I dig it. All right, I'm going to take us out of here. Ted, man. It's you and me, baby. You and me. I'm picking Ted and me. I'm taking 49ers. It's 49ers bowl. We got this, buddy.
Let's see week 1 and week 17.
Hey, let's not forget who played coach in the title game last year. Okay, let's keep that in mind.
It's the Super Bowl slump, man. You lost. Now you're going to finish last.
Yeah, that's, I don't. I'm gonna let me get off of here before something actually comes true like that.
I love it. I thank you guys so much. Ted, I appreciate you hanging out with me and letting me talk all night long.
It's a good time.
Awesome, man.
Good job, guys.
I appreciate everyone here. Good luck on the league, everyone. And as always, please go and check out drroto.com. We've got a great Discord. We've got all the tools you need. We got everything you need to be a champion. Please check us out there, everyone. The office is closed.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.